We're keeping things going here at Riyadh Masters as we get ready for series number 3 here on day number 3 of the group stage.
جاهزين للمباراة الثالثة من اليوم الثالث من الجروب ستيج. النتائج الآن جدا قريبة لبعض وأي أحد ممكن يتأهل للبلاي أوفس وأي أحد ممكن ما يكمل معنا مشوار البطولة.
Now, Fancy, correct me if I'm wrong, but you've met some of these players before. When did this happen?
Yeah, it happened in October 2021 in Saudi Elite. 2-4 and Ice were like ace. They were playing the tournament and they were actually able to win the whole thing. So they're not very like strangers to Riyadh. They've been here before. They've done a lot of good things. So I guess this is their comfort zone then. Maybe they would win this one as well.
Tofune's veterans here in Saudi Arabia, and their opponents also. These two teams have quite a bit of history with each other, it seems.
Yeah, they have a huge history, and it's not the first time that they face each other. And it's like that history is kind of one-sided. Let's be honest about that. But this might change in Riyadh Masters, and that's what I'm hoping for, to be honest.
They've gone back and forth in elevators, but in terms of the gameplay, it's generally gone Gaimin's way.
يا أعزائنا المشاهدين، هذه المباراة مو أول مرة نشهدها قدام بعض. Gaimin Gladiators واجهوا 9Pandas مرات مرة كثيرة، وفي كل مرة يتواجهون فيها Gaimin Gladiators وعندهم الادفانتج ما عدا مرة واحدة فقط في البرلين ميجر. فهل بيكون عندهم فرصة الآن إنهم يردون لهم الصعصعين ولا ما راح نشوف الشيء هذا؟ ما ندري.
Well, for another time, let's bring out Western Europeans' best team out there. Gaimin Gladiators! Gracing the main stage once again here at Riyadh Masters. It's rare that you'd look at a team with just a couple of losses here and there and be like, no, this isn't good enough. But from these guys, we expect perfection.
فريق Gaimin Gladiators أول شيء ما هو غريب على المسرح هذا، ثاني شيء هم الأبطال اللي فازوا في كل ميجر في دوتا في أنحاء العالم حصل في هذه السنة. هم يعتبرون الفريق الأفضل، هو الفريق اللي الكل مجهز إنه يحاول يهزمهم. لكن هل الشيء هذا بيقدرون يسوونه 9Pandas ولا لا؟ هل بيقدر يسوونه أي فريق ثاني؟ هذا الشيء اللي جايين نشهده الآن. لكن قبل كذا خلونا نرحب في الفريق. من أفضل الفرق الأوروبية 9Pandas. واضح المنافسة بينهم من أول ما وصلوا للمسرح ما بين Gaimin Gladiators و 9Pandas. زي ما تشوفون بالذات كوين ورامز الهيستوري اللي بينهم جدا عظيم، وزي ما احنا شاهدناه في البرلين ميجر راح يتكرر هنا مرة ثانية. لكن هل بيقدرون ياخذون 9Pandas ولا لا؟ هذا أكثر سؤال نحتاج نعرف إجابته.
Yo, Fancy, what's going on with these jerseys out of 9Pandas? This is looking slick.
They look so cool. على الجهة اليمين أعزائي المشاهدين زي ما تشوفون مكتوب حظ، ومع الجهة اليسار مكتوب قوة. On the right side of the jersey it says luck, and the left side it says strength. And it's really cool. It fits the theme, and I guess they're here to compete and they know what they're doing.
They're going to have a luck and a strength on their sides. Now let's see it in a gameplay. Gentlemen, take your seats as we get this draft started for game number 1.
على طول بنروح مع الاستوديو التحليلي. أعزائي المشاهدين الجيم الأول راح يبدأ ما بين Gaimin Gladiators و 9Pandas.
Gaimin Gladiators taking on 9Pandas yet again. They have met several times on LAN, and usually it's Gaimin Gladiators that get the W. But as Tsunami mentioned, perfection has been eluding them somewhat at this tournament. And Fear, we heard them speak about comfort, right? And we were speaking about how usually Gaimin Gladiators play a very specific style of Dota. There's something else that you highlighted or you wanted to talk about that is very specific to Gaimin Gladiators as well as the tournament.
Yeah, when you look at Gaimin Gladiators, you think stability, you think they go through just like winning all their games, and it looks pretty normal. I was taking a look at the stats here, and they have something unusual this tournament here. They have a 60% win rate, 100% win rate on Radiant, 0% win rate on Dire as of now. They have not won a single game on the Dire side, and that is a chink in their armor that teams can try and expose.
What do you think it is about them playing on the Dire side that doesn't allow them to get the victories?
That's hard to say right now, because like with all the new map changes, there's a lot of different things that can happen. But from what I noticed, a lot of the Radiant side is they're a high tempo team. They like building auras, and that 15 to 20 minute time, Roshan is on the Dire side, and that's normally where Radiant likes to play. So they're in that area, so maybe they like to get that snowball rolling that early, and that is my hypothesis of why they're doing so well, but we'll have to see through their gameplay.
But one thing that interests me about this particular stat purge is not only do they have 100% win rate on Radiant, most teams at this tournament have been winning on the Dire side. 54% versus the 46 that Radiant enjoys. Most teams that play on the Dire side tend to get more Roshans as well. So you would imagine that a team that's normally good at controlling the map, like Gaimin Gladiators, would be successful on the Dire side.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. There's always the TP point there, though, so you could always argue that if you're out of position, Dire team can always react to Roshan's kind of a thing, since you have that teleport point. But it's not the only thing that's trending. There's a lot of teams that just win with, like, one hero so far. Legion Commander has been the hero for, like, Shopify Rebellion, for Evil Genius as well. So there's a lot of interesting trends that keep happening at this tournament. One of the interesting trends as well, Lacoste, is at this tournament, one of the combos that Gaimin Gladiators have been successful with this year has been IO Lesh, right? At this tournament, it enjoys a near 80% win rate. They haven't played it a single time. What the hell is going on? How has Quinn not been allowed to play this Leshrac this tournament?
They're saving it for the main stage. You know that it's coming. If it's available, I think also a lot of other teams are banning it because they realize how strong it is. You know, you being the most successful team throughout this year, and you showed that this is your bread and butter pretty much. Whenever you're feeling down, if you're like game down in a best of 3, you're gonna be picking it. So other teams are like, well, let's try it out. You know, we have the info from all the games that are played on the stage, but what happens in the scrims, we don't know, and probably there's a lot of theory crafting going on there as well, where teams are like, we know it's strong, we're gonna try to beat it. Maybe some of the teams are like, we can't really beat it. Like, we tried 5 times, didn't happen, so we have to ban it out. As 9Pandas, they immediately ban out that IO for a good reason.
I can also confirm here as well that they have never had once opportunity to pick those two together at this tournament. Not a single time.
Well, the one game it wasn't banned, that IO wasn't banned, Leshrac was banned first phase. And there was like one other game where they'd pick IO and they would take Leshrac on the enemy team. Usually lose. It's not very good by itself.
But they have a contingency for that, though. It's like if they take the IO, you take the Lesh, they've been taking the Razor, so that's kind of being like their backup plan.
Yeah. Razor with IO has also been doing fairly well at this tournament. It's 6-1 thus far. We're going to be seeing whether or not Razor emerges. It's not going to be paired with IO, because as we see, 9Pandas have removed that from play. Interestingly enough as well, at this tournament, 80% of teams almost have Radiant first pick. Very rarely do we have the first pick going to the Dire side. However, when that does happen, Purge, that team wins 60% of the time. Will 9Pandas be able to replicate that here? And do you like this opener of the Undying?
The Undying seems totally fine. It's a hero that fits their playstyle. It's going to help them Roche if they so desire. And the hero did get nerfed in the last patch, but it's not like so consequential. The hero's still playing pretty effectively and doesn't necessarily reveal anything that's really that amazing to counter. Maybe encourages you to pick Snapfire against it, but past that, Undying's pretty safe to open with.
Yeah, the one big hero I'm looking for, 9Pandas, that's Doom. They definitely love to open up in the second phase with the Doom, first phase, but the second pick, and then they have like flexibility as well, because Ramses does play Doom, one of the rare carry players that are still like willing to do it. If we go back like 6 months, a year back, there was a lot of carry Dooms, but teams are staying away from it.
Surprisingly, with Doom, when it comes to 9Pandas, they're most successful when Miro plays Doom, and very few other teams at this tournament play Doom in the support role. So they can play it for Miro, they can play it for Ramses, like you mentioned, and they can play it in for Antares as well. So several different ways to approach this hero. We'll see what they decide to do.
Now that Doom seems even better, because there's a Beastmaster on the enemy team. You know that he wants to hit that timing with the Helm of the Overlord, and you have level 15 talent on Doom where you can devour Ancient Creeps. There's still like a small window that you can still like play with it for like 3-5 minutes depending how the game goes, but big fan of it. There's also like another one that people have been using, Night Stalker, but that hero is pretty dead.
Still uncontested, I believe.
Yes.
We'll see if that hero ever gets the light of day, but now you're in a situation for 9Pandas. Do you want to pick the Doom? They showed the Beast already. A lot of teams are comfortable just picking their mid here with 3 bans because you're most likely going to get counterpicked anyway if they want to counterpick you on that last pick for Gaimin Gladiators. So sometimes, yeah, you got 3 bans, you pick it now. Otherwise, you have to pick a high priority core here. We have seen some carries in the early stage, and that's one of them that could be a carry, but could also be an offlaner. Bit of a flex pick there.
They haven't lost with Lycan just yet. Ramses hasn't played it. It's been primarily deployed in the offlane, but they are 3-0 with it thus far. And at this tournament, Purge, Lycan has a 75% win rate. It's actually crazy. And why aren't teams picking up this hero, despite how successful it has been when it is deployed?
I'm not sure the answer to that question, but I do think it's interesting that both drafts are kind of similar, you know. Ready to go do those Helm of the Overlord things if they need to. But I feel like Lycan is a little different in terms of Beastmaster offensive potential. It's kind of nice. The Aura, the Roar Terror, the what is it called? Howl.
Howl.
It's always simpler than you think it is. One of those zeros. The minus armor from that can be really effective. So I don't know. Maybe they have a more inline playstyle they want to go for.
Let's see, it's one of the things that Gaimin Gladiators has done also differently for most teams. They're one of the few that are deploying this Rubik in the 5 role rather than just purely as a 4. So Celery could still try to hold this down and we get something a bit more aggressive for Tofu down the stretch. But what's more important is making sure we remove the Kiyotaka Wind Ranger. He is a beast on this hero.
Yeah, he's just a beast, period, pretty much. I think a lot of eyes on this mid laner because he's been popping off lately. I think Eastern Europe has produced a lot of good, really solid mid laners, and he just might be the next superstar, I would say. Like some of the performances that he had, and also he's a bit of a cheesy player when he has like a couple of these like specific picks that he likes to use. You know, Winter Wyvern from the mid lane, he's gonna bang out Sniper if necessary, Earthshaker. He plays like his hero pool is massive. That also comes down to him playing like 10-12 pubs a day.
Yeah, I mean, is it even worth trying to ban Kiyotaka out with the hero pool he does have? You know this guy is always gonna have something in his hero pool. Whereas Quinn, he's a bit more reserved. Like the way I normally like to talk about Quinn is he'll usually have about 4 heroes per tournament, but they'll like vary just depending on the meta. He has a big hero pool. He just doesn't want to deploy it, much like Gaimin Gladiators here. So it's gonna be a very interesting mid matchup. Can Kiyotaka find that perfect hero to counterpick Quinn? Because you already know what Quinn's gonna pick. He's just so damn good. Like, can you beat him in the lane even though you know what he's gonna pick, even if he first picks instead of you? We'll have to see.
He has played 4 heroes this tournament versus Kiyotaka's 11, so definitely exactly like what you're saying in terms of versatility versus specialization. Once we get into the second phase here, Lacoste, what do we want to see coming out from Gaimin Gladiators? Do you want to see them reveal where this Rubik is going with another support, or do they maybe start to angle towards getting a hero for Quinn first?
I mean, it's a flex pick for them. A Rubik Beastmaster, this has been a really strong lane for a good amount of time. And a Rubik, he is the hero of the tournament. Some of these position 4s like Techies, they've been nerfed, and it seems like Rubik is a new substitute hero that is extremely contested. And I'm looking at the bans from 9Pandas. To me, this is just saying we're going to play Lycan from the off lane. Like Bloodseeker, one of his arch nemesis, because you don't get to play Dota. You can still, use your summons, put it on supports, but Enchantress in the laning stage, take the Wolf. Also, illusion-based hero like Naga Siren that Lycan doesn't deal well with. So most likely going to be an off-lane hero. Also, Ramses did not play it at the Dream League. Season 20 did not play it yet at the Riyadh Masters, so most likely going to be from that off-lane.
Gaimin Gladiators have taken out the Morphling, one of the better heroes for Derecho. Well, he pioneered the hero, hasn't played it in a while, but definitely understand you don't want to give that away. Does anything leap out to you here, Purge? Because they're going to have to show their hand a little bit. What do you want to see them ban that you feel is very good and would suit 9Pandas draft right now?
Off the top of my head, not quite sure in this circumstance, because both drafts are relatively flexible, so like the bans aren't quite as targeted as we normally see, because both teams are just wanted to keep it flexible. But they do cover a lot of like really strong heroes potentially in this current patch.
I'm looking at one hero particularly, Terrorblade, because looking at these bans like Wind Ranger, Morphling, Darkseer, these are all good heroes against it. And Terrorblade in the second phase, we've seen it time and time again at Riyadh Masters that the hero pops off. Like he just like in terms of laning stage, like you don't care about Lycan at all. Like your right clicks don't do anything. He's the highest base armor in the game, and also just like stable carry. This hero is insanely good. I've also seen some of the Terrorblades picking up like 2 points in reflection, which does give you even more kill threat in the lane. Combine that with Blood Grenade, which is a standard item, a couple of those with the position 5. Seems like a really strong lane already.
Yeah, I was definitely seeing how they build the Lycan right now, if he's more comfortable with going the HOD, or if he is going to play more like a universal hero with the Echo Saber, with Manta. A big problem that Lycan has versus Terrorblade generally is the reflection gives the passive to Terrorblade, which is very, very bad on top of the extra auras on top of it. But if you do go for that other build where you have Manta, you do have a Dispel now for the reflection, which could be useful there. But you are going to be playing a bit more greedy if you go that route. You're not going to be as high tempo if the Beastmaster does want to go for that build. You will have to evade what I would like Gaimin Gladiators. And it's not easy to evade this team if they get off to a good start. They love buying the auras. They have a TB, they have a beast. They can end the game in like 20 minutes. So you have a difficult choice here if you are playing this offlane Lycan of what do you want to do in this game.
Yeah, I like the Gladiators draft right now just because it gives them a lot of deathfall potential between all the auras and stuff like that. That'll make it a little bit harder playing against Alchemists because there's going to be some potentially higher farming carry in the enemy's team, kind of putting you on a bit of a timer. But so far, I like what both teams are doing.
They did ran this Alchemist plus Lycan combo already a couple of times, and it looked really good. Usually Alchemist for 9Pandas does come out in the last picking stage, but this has been Ramses' classic already. I believe he played it 6 times and looked really, really good on it. It's also like a Radiance carrier when you play it into Terrorblade, but seems like they don't care too much about it because of the reflection.
Across those 6 games, you only lost a single one of them on this Alchemist so far at the Riyadh Masters. And even at Bali Major, whenever they had their backs against the wall, they would rely on their Ramses Alchemist to bail them out of trouble. Fear. We have not seen good things out of techies at this tournament. Man's struggling so far, so talk to me about this. Why deploy it in this particular position?
Well, there's no Rubik, so we talked about how Rubik was kind of the better techies right now. He still does the job, and they need a hero to try and help Lycan get outside of this laning stage. They have now confirmed that Lycan will be off lane, because we don't really see Lycan mid very much, so his flex was either going to be carry or be in the off lane, but now they picked Alchemist. Lycan is for sure going there, so they need a strong support to try and help them get a good laning stage. And Stekkeys, he's still good at that, and so maybe their best option. I
really like him because he's only been picked 10 times. He's got a 50% win rate, which is fine. That means in the right cases, he can be good. And the main thing that they're missing on their team is AoE damage, actually. Lycan doesn't bring it. Undying doesn't really bring it. Alk doesn't do that much. So if they want to clear summons and illusions, Stekkeys is great at that. He's doing tons of magic damage, and he's amplifying magic damage that they deal. Not that there's much on the rest of his team yet, but I'm saying by himself, if he launches himself into a TB, they can definitely do some damage.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be good in like the team fights, but you're already playing versus Terrorblade now. You're playing versus Chen. It's going to be a lot harder to get your ultimate just like placed all over the place around these Roshan areas. He's going to be able to easily pop those mines with the lineup that you do have on Gaimin Gladiators. So it's really just going to be like we need that damage for the initiation, and they don't have that initiation yet, other than the Alchemist. So maybe that's what they're looking for on their last pick here.
Interestingly enough, we see some of these heroes that have been banned game in, game out. Obviously, most of them involved in this game as well. This Chen hero, though, we're talking about heroes that have been 50-50, as Purge mentioned, Lacoste. But
He's
Chen
way below
50-50. 20% win rate at this tournament after 22 games.
Yeah, it's not looking too hot. I mean, I think if he's paired up with Terrorblade, that's fine, because you want to have some relatively self-sustainable safe laner if you can like provide him, get him to that like level 3, level 4. Also, Lycan doesn't provide too much pressure onto Terrorblade, so I think this Chen overall is going to be fine, because Chen wants to go into jungle, farm a little bit, then show up in the lane. But it's a really strong timing coming up from Gaimin Gladiators. Looking at Chen, so that's going to give him a lot of sustain. Terrorblade, Beastmaster Aura. This is a strong like 25-30 minute timing draft from Gaimin Gladiators that also scales well. Like they don't necessarily need the end game by any means, but now looking at the bans, I feel like 9Pandas, they want Ember Spirit. Like they want some some low cooldown, some hero that can just like play around, have someone to set things up for a potential blast off, because looking at the bans like Snapfire and Huskar, my brain just stopped for a second. These are really good heroes against Ember, so now they need to find the Quinn's hero.
Yeah, I like the Ember pick, but the thing I'm worried about Chen, it's got a bad win rate. 23 picks, 26% win rate. It's not good.
if there is a team
It's bad. It's bad.
to make it work,
Yeah.
so I think it really fits Gaimin Gladiators' style. Like the other options for Celery here, he loves his IO, he loves his Enchantress, he loves his Undying. 9Pandas took care of all those, like they're banned or picked, so he had to come up with something new. Like he liked playing Lion, but who wants to play Lion against, you know, Lycan? No one does. So they're balling up. They're doing that thing where they're going to buy a bunch of auras, and they're going to have like this really strong timing if they can have the laning stage. Now it's up to Quinn to find a unique hero, I think, for this tournament to try and punish this Ember, because what's left for him? It was just the Pango, but that's not good for Ember, so he had to find something new.
That's a big one. This is really, really good, not just answer for this Ember, because they also needed some kind of a lockdown in terms of catch. They had Rubik's Lift, which is level 1 at the early stages of the game. Beastmaster Roar. You know that Beastmaster does not want to move from lane to lane. He wants to sit, he wants to get the farm, get his Helm of the Overlord, but this Dragonite pick, I'm really liking it, because if you look at their damage, 9Pandas damage is mostly physical. This is all 3 cores relying on heavy physical damage, and Dragonite, like, he doesn't care too much about it. I feel like Gaimin Gladiators are drafted themselves a really good draft here.
I mean, I like that the DK is very survivable, and it does give them another stun, but I feel like their team fight's a little lacking. I feel like they're good at killing like 1, maybe 2 heroes, and then their damage is going to fall off until like TB and Quinn with the Dragonite are really amplified by the auras. So they're good at death pushing and pushing towers, I feel like, but I think there's some other weaknesses.
If this game starts to scale into the later portions here, which draft do you feel is the best between these two lineups?
The best. It's hard to say, but I know my Gaimin Gladiators pretty well, and when they pick a draft like this, they generally don't lose, I will say. Like, normally they're experimenting a little bit. Quinn's playing carry. They don't have this full death ball. I think Gaimin Gladiators, when it comes to the aura game, the timing, the tempo push, they're the #1 team in the world at doing this, and that's exactly what they drafted here.
All right, give me some votes, gentlemen. Pert, I'll start with you. Who's going to win game 1?
Yeah, that does give me a lot more confidence. If that's the strat that they win most on, then yeah, that sounds good. I'll go with Gaimin Gladiators.
Gaimin Gladiators, Lacoste, how do you
I'll
feel?
join. I'll go with GG.
Going GG as
It
well?
has to be GG, yeah.
Been here before, where a panel really loves Gaimin Gladiators. As Fior mentioned, they are 100% win rate so far on the Radiant side of the map. They have one of their better strategies that they've deployed to be on the Radiant side. So it does feel like this is going to be a difficult situation for the side of 9Pandas. However, don't forget, this is Ramses on the Alchemist, y'all. Let's not underrate this man. Whenever they feel like they have a difficult matchup, they whip this out, and they generally do tend to win. I had a conversation with the CEO of 9Pandas, as you were telling me that this team, above all else, prefer being on the Dire side. So you get great hero player combinations on a side that they prefer. Even in a
Both sides.
matchup, you know, both sides have their side that they prefer, but you know, there's a little bit of tension in this matchup. It's Ramses versus Quinn, so neither of them want to lose. We want to be seeing exactly how both of these teams are going to be matching up in game 1. To find out, we have our incredible casting duo of Sunsfan and Kezu. Gentlemen, give us the cage match.
Thank you very much. That's right. It is a cage match because it's Quinn versus Ramses. But the problem is Quinn has won every single time. Kezu, you were looking up the stats. Why don't you give us a little rundown on how that's gone?
So they've played each other like in 5 different series, and 9Pandas were never able to like truly win. They could like draw a series with like 1 win in like a BO2 or 2-game series. All the other times, Gaimin Gladiators have just been victorious. One thing I'm looking forward to Ramses not doing in this game is tipping Quinn prematurely, because that has always backfired
I think
every
it's a
single time.
0% win rate when he does that.
Literally.
I mean, that's part of the draw of Ramses is this inherent cockiness.
I love Ramses.
He has grown a lot, maybe not in height, because he is quite a small human being, but we do love to watch him play. And I'm excited, and you were disgusted by my initial reaction. When I see an Alchemist, I actually unironically get excited because of the inherent Aghanim Scepters that we will not see, of course. It's just the idea that it's possible.
Honestly, there is a way in this game, because most of the time as a carry out, you don't really want to give Ags away because it doesn't help you.
Yeah.
But in this game it could, because you give it to Miero, who then bites your ass, and suddenly you become this wolf alchemist gold man who just runs around. So we have some little trading going on.
Would love to see it. The sticky bomb somehow connects, as the concoction will be used onto Tofu instead with the War Grenade as well. And 9Pandas looking to get their first blood onto Tofu, but the Breathe Fire gonna reduce a lot of damage there, and they're not gonna go any further. So only damage done, and back to the lanes they go. I would love to see, I mean, there was that meta during TI-10, I was casting some of it with...
Tiny Owl?
Yeah.
That was great.
No, it was Tiny Lycan, right? Because you're biting the Lycan every time with the Christmas tree.
Yeah. That was some...
pretty hype.
Some good stuff. Luckily, that is not in a game anymore. I do think that Gaimin Gladiators got themselves pretty damn strong draft. I think especially the second phase with the TB into the Chen to close the phase. Very good in the lane against Lyking. You can always steal the Wolves. You have the Auras later for your TB as well, who has very good core matchups in this game. I think for 9Pandas, it's very, very important that in the laning phase, Antares gets off to a good start, because I need to see him with like a Urn, maybe some 12, 13, 14-minute Vessel where he can then go together, they get this Radiance, because they need to get the ball rolling. They need to win the mid game and push forward, otherwise Gaimin, they're going to have some incredible core matchups later on in this game.
Yeah, and Solo, I mean, they picked the 2 supports that were nerfed, quote-unquote, in the last patch. Techies, we've been over the nerfs to him.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very minor, but for whatever reason, teams are not picking it nearly as much. And then the likes of Undying, which looked like a bigger nerf, but we've been seeing some crazy Tombstone grab ally action. And they've been using more of the single target aspect to that.
Easy for Celery.
Yep,
Easy. I mean, they're not very good at dealing with these stolen Wolves, right? There's no like Inch to countersteal it or Mirana to just end up airing it. So these Wolves on bottom gonna be pretty annoying. But the mid matchup, I would say Quinn is probably the best mid laner in the world. But Kiyotaka, whenever he goes up in this matchup, I think he does surprisingly well. One of the best up-and-coming players, in my opinion, from not just the CIS region, but overall. So Kiyotaka, we're gonna have to keep our eyes on him, because he's got some... I mean, this guy's good. This guy's got some moves.
He's had some monster performances. I think the first hero that comes to mind for me is the Tinker.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
And, I mean, you don't want to see that, of course, because it is filthy in every regard. But, yeah, he's definitely had a very good year as Blood Grenade onto Miero with the metamorphosis of Dyrachyo. He's going to pop his wand to try to stay alive. And it looks like he will be able to survive here. But still, lots of damage done. Meanwhile, Ace and Tofu kind of pushed out of lane for the time being. Gonna have to leech a bit of XP. But yeah, talk to me about Alchemist as a hero in this patch. Like, not the most picked hero by any means, as Miero getting a little too close for comfort. And that's gonna be first blood for Dyrachyo. He's taking massive damage from the tower though, so it ends up being a trade. Experience going the way of Antares. Gold basically swapped, but that was the first blood. So Gaimin Gladiators still probably happy with this.
Dyrachyo's gonna take it for sure. He's got the first blood. He also didn't lose any lane creeps as the Dire Wave is super pushing in as
mid lane. Quinn. Kiyotaka gonna continue to pursue with that Flame Guard, but it's not quite enough. He's got 2 points on that Dragon's Blood. Once you get to 3, you can pretty much say goodbye to any potential kills without a +1. But yeah, back to Alchemist in this patch.
So Alchemist, I would say he's slightly underpicked. I wouldn't say he's necessarily great, but he's this type of hero when you need a timing carry that can also help you go in, like inside of the mid game. So teams that want to play mid game and play fast, I think Alchemist fits that type of style very well. He lanes well, you fall back into the jungle, you get fast gold, and once you have a Radiance, you can like slowly play forward. And Radiance plus 1 item, that's where you really want to go. That's why this 15-minute mark is so crucial. You're going to be top 1 net worth, but you have to use this net worth that you do have.
Right, with the inherent differences of the old Alchemist. As the Tombstone comes
Grenade.
down, Blood Grenade, zombies continuing to chase. Concoction connects, Tofu trying to kill off some zombies to regain some movement speed, as Solo's going to fully commit to this, and the decay is enough. And Ace, like we've talked about before.
Another Blood Grenade.
Yeah, man, he really loves his Blood Grenade.
I love this.
Concoction's going to be fully channeled, and down goes the entire off lane of Gaimin Gladiators. 9Pandas is going to be super happy about this, but at the meantime, Miero goes down for, I believe, the 2nd time in the opposing off lane.
Yeah, they did lose Miero. He's going to have to try and get some levels down here, because his lane is not going well at all. But yeah, 9Pandas, I would say teams have got a lot better over especially the last couple months at using Undying in the lane. Like, you don't have to hold on to this Tombstone all the time. You can just force it, like use it, get them out of the lane, or in this case, even get 1 kill, dive more. That's also why Undying is so great with carries that can help you pressure in the lane. And Alchemist has got to be one of the best melee carries at doing so.
Yep, and looking at the CS right now, Mr. Dyrachyo is top in that regard, and this is part of the game that Gaimin Gladiators have been better than every other team easily throughout this last year, is the laning stage.
One of the very few things they're the best at.
And one of many, of course. They do win. I like how the the panel, I mean, it's just when you're predicting who's going to win and Gaimin Gladiators playing, it's just, I guess Gaimin.
Yeah, just make up some bullshit reasons. Like, you know, all right, that's how it is, boys.
We're just going to do it. But
look who's here. The old man Solo.
Yeah, making his rotation, puts down the Tombstone, blast off from Antares. That's enough to take out Celery. And Dyrachyo, Quinn versus Kiyotaka. They're both living on such low levels of HP.
Very dicey battle as Dyrachyo pops the meta to try and kill the Tombstone, it looks like. will not be able to do so yet, as they just protected. First active rune gonna come out soon, but we have Kiyotake, he's going back to base. Tofu's trying to help Quinn out on that, so it looks like laning stage might slow down a little bit until Quinn, maybe once he can regen a little bit of his HP. He can
Well,
start
one
crushing
thing to
the
keep in mind, the 6-minute rune is now available, and Kiyotaka, like you said, went back to base. So if it's top, which it's not,
easy
it'll
DD
spawn
for
bottom,
Antares.
and Antares making it there in time to be able to at least hold it or deny. We'll see if Quinn forces his hand or not, but if they get Kiyotaka the rune, which they do, that's pretty
Solo's
nice.
coming mid too. Quinn is only on half HP, and they do have a level of chains. Nice chains.
Yeah, Quinn, blast off connects, triple teamed and brought
kill.
down. So despite having that level advantage in the mid lane, because Quinn was level 6, Kiyotaka will be able to get his level 6 after this creep.
I mean, these are the most crucial things that you can do to a DK in the early game, is getting like even just one kill like this on him in the between like minutes 6 to 10. It is so crucial in slowing down this DK's game and pushing like Kiyotaka just slightly above the edge here. He's gonna have a slight network advantage, slight level advantage as well. So great move from 9Pandas here.
Yeah, Miero trying to avoid his 3rd death of the game.
He should be okay now in his bottom lane. He has 1 level in Pharaoh Impulse. That's not the biggest deal, but having the Helm of the Iron Will right against a mainly physical lane, so he's going to be able to recover. Lycan is pretty okay. Like, his network surprisingly is still great as Ace up top.
Yeah, Concoction's coming for him right next to the tombstone as well.
See you later,
Ace
bro.
is an easy kill, and this is something that we bring up time and time again with Gaimin Gladiators, is it feels like their lineups are usually catered towards getting Ace this ridiculous farm early, and he's already, I mean, this offlane is not going super well for Gaimin at all.
Yeah, 9Pandas have done a really nice job, right? You have this Undying, you do well in the lane. He's allowed to move bottom, get a kill there, swings back to top, does it again. Now they both end up mid. Quinn is going to have to be a little careful around the 8-minute rune as well. Kiyotaka going to TP base, kind of refill his bottle. But yeah, Ace not doing too well, so I think this is exactly what 9Pandas need and want in this little early game for themselves.
Yeah, but it looks like Tofu and Ace gonna perhaps start stacking some creeps, because that's one way to get Ace back in the game. Doesn't really matter what hero he plays, he usually does take these first few stacks, and that resets his game for the most part. As Kiyotaka finds Tofu, Quinn's gonna get the Dragon Tail to give his support some space, but the Remnant coming through. 9Pandas want to continue on here. He has the shield room for Kiyotaka. We'll bait out some spells, but we'll back away eventually.
I mean, if 9Pandas get to hold their mid tower, which they're doing a great job at doing so, right? Whenever Quinn is like kind of posturing up aggressively or using the Dragon Form, they're bringing their supports mid to defend, then they can go back to the side lanes, pressure there, and then move back to mid once more. Because if they get to hold it, like Quinn is kind of the one that has to open up the mid tower, then slowly move top and maybe help Ace kick out Ramses. Because if you can play like this with an Alchemist,
top lane,
he's going to stay like this.
again for Ace. They're going to catch him next to the tombstone. He
Roar's
gets off the
available.
roar though this time. See if that's enough for him to get away. Decay does connect. Solo continuing to pursue, but Tofu is there to help out to make sure that his offlaner does not die again, as Miero gonna pop that shape shift.
We see very similar plays. Both offlaners are forced to use their ults aggressively. Neither of them really like that too much, but I would say that hurts Miero a little bit more than Ace, as you kind of want to use this first shapeshift to like push the guy out of the lane, try to take over the map and kick out the carry. So I think both Dirachi and Ramses are just going to continue to kind of live in their lanes, and it's more on the mid laners. Maybe they get a rune, or we wait for Quinn's DK blink to really like stray out to the side lanes and get something going in this game. As never mind, Quinn is just going for, he just wants to scale and chill.
Yeah, I guess so. He's done a decent amount of damage to that. I mean, I feel like at this stage of the game, in the games that at least we've cast, the DK mid will have the tower already killed by now.
Yeah.
So you have to give 9Pandas credit for delaying it. Still not quite there. And even some damage done to the Gaimin Gladiators tower.
Well, honestly, I'm kind of okay with the mindset. I think the idea here is that, okay, if we get through like this early and mid game, later on we have the late game secured, and if he rushes a blink, he doesn't really have the best heroes to play with, right? Like Chen 5 doesn't really do anything for you in an aggressive manner. You have one Rubik 4 who he needs to steal a good spell. There aren't that many of them, so you just kind of chill, you hold the map, and it's on 9Pandas to then push the game forward later, as they do not get the mid tier 1 tower. So Gaimin, they're very happy if they get to hold a flat map like this now.
Yep, and Quinn opting to go towards the Midas, which has been kind of the build these days for the DK. And Ramses, like you said, will be going for the Radiance. Already has the Sacred Relic, so a couple more minutes away from finishing that. And at what point do you think he's going to want to actually participate in fights? Is there a go time?
I think Alk it's like a very open timing. So when you get Radiance and you see your team do a move, I think you could join them just to like be this little +1 timing. As
Dirachi, but he dodges the sticky bomb. Solo's here with the Tombstone to get the slow. Miara continue to chase as the lycanthrope. You get the blood grenade from Solo. He just has an endless supply of them apparently. Just a constant injection. Sticky bomb.
Sunder.
Dirachi gets off the Sunder just in time, but Blast Off connects, and there's enough burst damage from the side of 9Pandas to eventually bring him down. Nicely played.
I like that. Like, you just have Gaimin Gladiators heroes. They don't really protect each other, so you just abuse that by bringing numbers, run them over with your little Lycan Zoo here. You just pop the shapeshift. Great movements by Solo so far in this early game for sure. Being kind of all over the map with some really nice body blocks. Sure, we do have the Sunder coming out.
Oh, yeah!
But Antares just gets in there. Gets off the blast off, and yeah, very good movement from 9Pandas. And now moving forward to go back to the Alchemist, I would say Radiance into like one more little item, like maybe a Blink. As Quinn makes his way up top, gets himself a quick little kill.
That'll allow Solo to go back to base and get some more blood grenades. I'm not sure if they're out of stock still. I would think so.
Well, he didn't buy one yet, so I assume they're on cooldown.
I would hope so. Maybe there's a bug where Undying gets an infinite supply of it somehow, because he is not alive, so he doesn't really need the blood inside his system, you see, the lore and whatnot.
The lore checks out, actually.
Quinn and Celery now focusing on the Tier 1 tower. They should be able to get this uncontested, but 2K lead for 9Pandas. And, I mean, of course, this is an Alchemist game. And how much does that, you think, come into play with this 3K lead? Like, do you feel like 9Pandas are winning this, or is it relatively even?
I would say it's relatively even, but I would give a slight edge to 9Pandas, because I think with the next 1-2 items that come out for Ramses, I would assume that there should be a Blink Dagger in the mix. You have a Lycan that's going to go in, you have an Ember that's going to go in, so helping them as Dirachi once again.
Caught out.
Yeah,
they got the burst. He is
gone.
Mega dead. Nice pick off from 9Pandas again. They're all over the map. Solo, I mean, despite the limp on the Undying, he's been everywhere on the map right now.
No, honestly, Solo is kind of, he's owning in this game. He's in 7 out of 8 kills. They're now pressuring a Tier 2 tower at 30 minutes. I mean, we talked about, sure, if Gaimin gets to like this mid-late game with a lot of gold, then, you know, their draft is very good, and no doubt about it. But if you can just abuse them like this on the map, you get the Roger killed again, you take the Tier 2, 4K lead. Looks like they want to aim towards Roshan for now. They do have the Flesh Golem and the Tombstone available.
Okay, that's very early Roche, if that is the case.
Yep,
See
looks
how
like
slow Miero is. No boots, of course.
Very
slow.
slow.
Lycanthrope. All right, they're going to go for it. So see how fast this is, and I would assume that they're going to want to put this on maybe Kiyotaka instead of Ramses.
Yeah, I think just
it's a better option?
I think it's good enough. He just gets to freely go in. I would say he's the most susceptible, especially with Ramses also queuing up. So he's going BKB first to just run in there. He feels like he doesn't need more catch for his team. By blinking in, he feels like his team will kind of do that for him.
Oh my
As this is a juicy stack.
Oh yeah.
This is income. He's going to have BKB after this is done.
Good God.
Oh yeah, I love gold.
And this is not going to be
Oh,
contested.
the mine. Stole one skeleton.
Okay, all right, fair. 13-minute Roche, and now Ramses, like you said, should be able to finish off or at least get close to this BKB. And considering that it was his second item option, I would assume he's going to want to join fights now.
It is on 9Pandas now to blow open this entire map. You already have the bottom tier 2. You can now look at slowly pushing in mid, make a smoke like into the Radiant Triangle, get in there, because if you run into Gaimin Gladiators, whoever you find, they are dead. It is on them to play the map in a way where they get to hold and not bleed more and hopefully only lose the support and keep their cores farming. Because they have no way of fighting back. Zero. No chance.
Now getting outpost control again. Feels like this is mid-game. It's 15 minutes. They have the tier 2. We'll see how much they want to use, or how much of this these outer towers they want to try and take with this Aegis on Kiyotaka, who is going to be spotted by Tofu. And Quinn is in the area as well to get a telekinesis right into the Dragon Tail. They don't have the damage, though.
Nope, they force one to the lane as Celery. He's going to say goodbye.
Yep, that's all. The tips! The tips! Oh, Ramses was not one of the people. That's
good.
the important factor to keep in mind. That's the most important thing of this game that we need to keep track of. Will he tip? Maybe when the Ancient is exposed, that's when he'll feel comfortable.
Yes, I hope he learns his lesson. I think that will be the timing we have to look for. As right, this is a very dangerous Alchemist. He is so fat. He is, honestly, if the game continues like this, he might be looking at some 1k GPM towards the end of the game, but let's see. Currently queuing up the Blink. I'm a big fan of. I think your first 2-3 items should always include a Blink Dagger on Alch, because when you're this far ahead when it comes to net worth, you need to use it. Like, you need to push forward for your team. You literally, he has the same net worth as like TB and Beast combined, nearly. So in order for you to get Blink, you just get in there, you use all your net worth, and you push the game forward, because, as we said, Gaimin, they need more time.
Yeah,
the next 5, 6, 7 minutes,
not
no
often
chance.
we see Ace struggling so much. I mean, it's not like his farm is that bad, but compared to like his usual performances, it feels like he's the top net worth on his team at this stage. So they've really done a nice job of containing him.
Now you can also tell the state of the map a little bit. Like, Quinn runs into this mid wave, there's a mine coming out, he's forced to blink out, so they have to play very passive as Tofu.
He is spotted
by the
He's gonna
Golem.
steal Flesh Golem, little baby Rubik version. But this version is still in alpha, so they're gonna have to scrap that build and try to rework for an open beta someday.
Yes, we have some TP action going on. Kiyotaka chasing Ace.
And gets off the roar. Don't think they're gonna have any additional catches. Kiyotaka pretty damn low on mana. Now this is Blink Dagger's online for Ramses.
I mean, this
See
is
how much they want to group up.
This is very good. Like, 9Pandas got to push in mid, they got to push in top. You go bottom, even if you don't kill this beast, just don't allow them to push out this area too much, as looks like the Ranchi is TPing up top, wants to consider farming this tier 2 wave, but Ramses does have a blink coming, so if you're Gaimin, you have to be very careful around the map right now.
Quinn trying to have a battle here with
250
Ancient
gold.
Granite Golem. They have to stun it perpetually,
Got
and
it.
finally it's brought down. That percent HP increase is now gone.
Oh, Ramses is charging up his stun.
Yes, Blink Dagger reveal, Concoction, and the blast off. Nice pass, is going to save Bracho for the time being, but eventually is blown up by one of the mines of Antares. Concoction was stolen. Tofu, is he actually diving? No.
Nah.
And this is an opportunity to potentially do what, Kazoo? You're in this area. What's in the area? We'll get to that in just a moment. It's a trivia question for you.
Not the Tormentor, Shannon.
Kiyotaka, he's actually surrounded here. Has to be a bit careful. Doesn't have any remnants, it looks like.
Okay.
And that's the Aegis, so a bit of a waste.
Ramses is TPing, they have to back. Never
Ace
mind, that's
TPing
solo.
out. Yep, solo. He's very scary, though. He might have a blood grenade on.
He
Sticky
might.
bomb onto Celery. So they will get something out of this, but it feels like that was a bit of a waste of the
he pushes
Aegis.
the beautiful play by Celery. Gets himself the creep, pushes
And
it
more
down
importantly, it forces 9Pandas away from the Tormentor.
which is
they
not
could
yet
have
alive. But you're right.
That's a good point.
Yes.
But you do have techies. You could have started to plant the mines and,
And
get
then
the
he
solo
kills
kill.
himself.
No, you just walk away and it kills it automatically.
But he will die to it unless anyone is tanking.
No, you don't need to be in range.
Yeah, but it's global.
That's a lie, is it?
Yeah,
That's true?
You kill yourself.
You're kidding.
Yeah,
I
that's
did this like 2 weeks ago. They fixed it in 2 weeks?
Maybe I missed something, but I'm pretty sure when you deal damage to the outpost, no matter where you are, you take damage.
Really?
That's why you need the bros around, unless they want to do a little bit of trolling and kill them.
Okay, you could do that too. Yeah, it just goes to show you how fast this game feels. Or how fast it is, I should say. It's 19 minutes. Feels
Yeah,
super
just
late
keep going.
Now
Tofu's
Ace
dying
gets
to
off the
creeps.
roar onto Antares. Tofu just dying to creeps, like you said. Gets off the Pavis for the time being. Blast off coming in. And Ace is looking mega dead. Double kill for Solo. He is the MVP
They're not getting
this
out of
game.
this.
Sunder onto Kiyotaka. Nicely jumped from Duraccio, but he's still going to get bursted down eventually.
That's a
triple
triple
for
kill.
Solo. Get the rampage for this man. He's got the blood
He's
grenades
dead.
up the wazoo. He's dead. He can't get it. Buy back and get the rampage for God's sake. As Antares gets the 4th member of Gaimin Gladiators, it's a 1 for 4, and this is looking ugly if you're a Gaimin Gladiators fan.
Yeah, you cannot fight into 9Pandas. I'm a little surprised that Gaimin are kind of grouping around mid. Like, when you're behind, that's not the area where you want to be. It's the easiest point of attack. You want to try and keep the map very open, go to side lanes, push it out. But 9Pandas, I mean, they're just striking in there. They have all the items that they need. Helm of Dom, I think drums are coming out as well from Miero. Ramses with the Blink BKB. Kiyotaka, honestly, he's getting very fat as well. Travels, Maelstrom has a Kaya completed. I mean, all of the heroes, they just want to fight. When you're looking at 9Pandas, same with their items. They're all equipped and itemized for this triple blood grenade at the ready.
Oh my, how often do they, what's the timer on this?
I mean, to be fair, he didn't have any like the last 5-6 minutes, but now he's got them all. You should be able to combine them. Like if you hold 6,
Mega
they turn
blood
into
grenade?
Mega Blood Grenade.
Yeah, and then if you get 9 plus a cheese, you get Rupture.
I like that actually. As we have a smoke coming out, Gaimin are looking for something. Looks like they might just find an old man. I don't know if that's what they want.
Yeah.
Solo.
Dragon Tail opener. Solo.
Gets off the
Trying to put down the tombstone. Now
Stolen
Ramsey's
tombstone.
coming in with the concoction from behind. Focused on the supports for hits. He's gonna get roared though for the time being as the tombstone finally taken out. But Kiyotaka doing work. Double kill already.
Oh,
Big
double
blast
suicide.
off onto the 2 members here from Gaimin. And that is not good. For Gaimin Gladiators, it's a 1 for 4. Solo does buy back.
So also
reason.
smoking himself back to mid, wants to get there
Okay.
faster.
Did he use any of his blood grenade? He used 0 of them.
Well, he's stacking up for the Rupture.
But Ramsey's just BKB'd for some reason.
It works.
Okay.
Did
That's his tip.
Did he show it to Radiant? Did they see it?
It was right on the cusp, so I'm not sure.
I hope they saw it, so then it's like a taunt. I
That's
beat
right.
you without my BKB.
That's right.
C now has an AC, and I mean, if Gaimin get to hold on to this game, we'll also see the Wolf buy, but I'm a little scared for them right now. 17,000 gold lead at 21 minutes. Sure, it's against an Alchemist, but still, as Doratio finds himself little Ramses. He's gonna go back, doesn't want to throw this game. I mean, at this point, if you're 9Pandas, this game is in your hands.
It is, but to be, I'm trying to put this in a nice way.
Nice way.
They've thrown some games.
Yes.
They've thrown a lot, actually.
That is, I mean, what Gaimin are looking for right now is this BKB completed on Quinn, the Skadi on top of the Ratio, and then they need to try and take a good fight. I would say they have, this is the longest Rosh time in the world, so this is good for Gaimin. They're going to be able to complete their items, but I feel like you may have to, I mean, that fight seems impossible, but you need to either fight there or then when they go to your high ground.
Yeah.
I don't, Gaimin have one more fight in them, and if they lose it, I think this game is over.
Yeah, I don't know if they have the damage yet. That's kind of the issue. But we'll see in this next fight. It's going to be a BKB onto Quinn, who is now going to be spotted.
Blood
Solo
grenade.
in the Flesh Golem form. Quinn TPing out, and he'll actually
the
find the
juke
right
spot?
area. I didn't.
What
How
the
is
hell?
that not in vision, actually?
What a god.
Like a
I
nice
didn't know
little
that
crevice
juke spot
there.
even existed.
It just looks like it's right in the open.
Yeah. Apparently, I mean, there's this one little tree that does cover it, so well played from Quinn. Never seen that spot before, but well done by him here.
Like you said, long Roche timer, so 9Pandas will just have to disperse and farm out, but this gives Gaimin some opportunity to finish some of these items, like the BKB that we talked about for Quinn. I think the Manta, no, actually he did go for the Scotty on TV, so.
He did just finish it. And so the other thing is when you're behind, you want to like push out waves and try to force them to come back to you. But with Kiyotaka having travels and having the Lycan in his team, he can always just cover the one lane that Gaimin is going to go to try and push out. And they don't have the best heroes at stopping him. So they can, 9Pandas can basically play the whole map and pressure at the same time as Radiant get themselves the Tormentors.
Good boys, good
Shard
boys.
for Tofu.
It's a good save. Not as good as Grab Ally, of course. We'll see if 9Pandas even bother with it, because they haven't needed any types of saves yet.
Oh, yep, they are.
Oh.
He heard you.
Well, I think they saw that Gaimin did theirs and like, oh yeah, this is an objective.
Oh yeah, right.
Let's,
Thanks for the reminder, Gaimin.
good stuff. So
Like that ace.
it's either the techies are undying here.
It's gonna be techies.
Grab Ally it is. Too strong, man.
In the pool, baby. Oh, counterplay for the DK stun. Counterplay for the roar. They'll take that. Roche is up in 30. We'll see very soon if Gaimin are even thinking about contesting it. Because if they do want to, they need to be moving there already.
Yeah.
Unless maybe they want to set up on the Dire side, hoping that it won't spawn, which luckily for them, it will spawn basically around the nighttime spawn, so it will be on the Dire side.
They'll have 10 seconds until he moves over.
Well,
Can they kill in 10 seconds?
no. Maybe if you have 80 mines that he just
80?
keeps walking through.
Okay.
As 9Pandas going for smoke, anticipating something. Ace is close. He does have a Crimson Guard. This is very good against the Dire cores.
Yep,
But
gonna
he's
show
all
himself. Kiyotaka gets off the Searing Chains. Tombstone is there as well, and that is a dead Beastmaster. No buyback at all, so this is going to be likely a free Roche for 9Pandas. We'll see if Gaimin want to
Dire's middle tower is under
contest anyway.
Yeah, they can't. I think there's no chance. As Roach, this is gonna die real fast. You have Solar Crest, you have Howl, Acid Spray, AC, some Flesh Golem hits or whatever that you had from before as well. So Aegis G's on deck as well for them. And yeah, all that's gonna be on Gaimin's mind right now is how do we take this next fight? What do we need to do? What's the positioning? Do we need buybacks, item timing, smoke around? Because this next fight is incredibly hard to execute for them.
Quinn about halfway to the Black Drag. Well, actually, he needs 2 levels on top of that to be able to achieve the Black Dragon status. And is the Ags done? Not quite yet. So Miro 500 away from Wolfbite. Not sure if they even want to wait for anything. But that is theoretically a pretty good power spike to be able to bite the Elk.
Celery is doing some very annoying stuff, but very necessary stuff. He's trying to cut the top wave of a Black Dragon. He's got some creeps on mid as well. So trying to just give his team more time and space in order to, you know, try and get towards the items that you do need in this game to fight back. Because honestly, Gaimin in the last couple of minutes have done a good job at holding the game and keeping the net worth kind of even, which from this standpoint in the game, it's a very nice job from them.
Yep, so it was cut a bit, but there is still this big wave here, and 9Pandas is going to have to make sure that they protect it at all costs, as Chemical Rage apparently stolen here.
It's a siege creep. Let's see if
First
they want to
fortify.
No.
And no more wave. Be a few seconds before the backdoor protection kicks in. Let's see if they can kill the tower first. It looks like they will be able to. And now the exposed barracks. Quinn going with the Dragon Tail, available still. As Concoction from Ramses will be self-cast.
A little bit of a self-stun, as I think Ramses has, no, his Abyssal, or wait, whose courier is dead? Is that I think Ramses has an Abyssal coming out, or soon, or whatever it may be. He did have it queued up earlier. Yeah, here it is. So that's very scary. I think whoever he jumps into, unless Tofu's available and quick on a telekinesis save, that guy will be blown out of the game. Looks like Solo is drawing a line. Maybe they want to do some surprise jump into the base, but I don't know if they're holding a smoke for this play. They're not.
Yep, the wave will be coming in from mid, as the Ranger Axe is now being beat on by Ramses. They will be able to give that up freely. Dragon Tail now onto Ramses.
They don't deal any damage to him.
Yeah, that is the main issue.
Or
Racha's
do they?
going to pop the meta. But
grab
there's the
ally.
grab ally. The reflection bugging out horribly. That's amazing animation. But the roar onto Solo himself. Ramses can pop the BKB along with the Concoction, trying to focus on his wave, but he can only use it onto Ace, who gets beat down. No buyback for him. Blast up onto Darachi, who finally gets off that BKB now, focusing all his efforts onto Antares. Will be able to get this kill in all likelihood, but Ramses now the target that he probably wants to kill. Buyback from Celeries, meanwhile Kiyotaka keeping the rest of Gaimin Gladiators busy. Pops that cheese, like you said, attempting to TP out with the Dragon Tail just in time, so a successful hold from Gaimin. It does cost them a buyback. And 9Pandas, I mean, they still have the Aegis. How much time does that even have left? Still 2 minutes, so they can regroup and try for this again, but not the cleanest take.
Oh, it's a very good hold for them. All they had to do was buyback on Celery, as I feel like 9Pandas went a little deep here. Sure, you do pick up Ace at the start, but now you're going on to Celery very deep. Darachi just stands his ground with the BKB. Scotty also, Chemical Rage ran out. Like, so your top net worth Alchemist losing a lot of his power here. And Gaimin, the closer they get to their next items, this is a very big deal.
I mean, this, I would think that you just buy a shard on Ramses. You get the second Chemical Rage, kind of, Berserk Potion.
The little purge. It's very good, especially too. So in this game, you can take off the reflection, give yourself some attack speed. So Kiyotaka ending up dying there while using the cheese will have Shivas for the next fight. But Gaimin getting to hold even any fight is great for them. Quinn finishing up his Agonist Scepter. Like, DK is going to start getting pretty strong. You have to be careful if you're 9Pandas here.
Yeah, there's a certain point where you just don't bother even trying to kill him.
Yeah. It looks like they're just
still a level away from getting the 18 though. And Ramses and company want to use this Aegis. Gonna go for the mid lane. The Chemical Rage is popped. It's the highest net worth at 29 minutes of any
I'm not
hero.
surprised.
Yeah, he has been beasting it up. He's going to start actually buying the Aghanim Scepter. We'll talk about it in just a moment, of course. Very important. Darachi,
very important.
Try to delay this as long as possible. Tofu taking so much damage. The Concoction coming out now. Who's it going to be on?
Oh, nice
like
try
Darachi not able to dodge that, though. continuing to throw things at Dyrachyo from afar. And there's the Sunder, bringing Ramses to half HP, but again, with that Aegis at 10 seconds left, he's now a Wolf, so they have that Axe onto Miero.
Aegis is running out, though.
Yeah, the Aegis running out makes this a little awkward. Plus,
Roar.
the concoction not being there. Gets off the BKB during the
Roar.
grab ally inside. He's waiting.
Kiyotaka
taking a massive amount of damage. Will Remnant away. Looks like Antares will not be so lucky, though. Double kill for Dyrachyo. Another successful hold so far as Miero
Miero
getting beat down from afar. The axes do hit. The towers might be enough. Looks like Quinn comes in to finish the job, and some way, somehow, Gaimin Gladiators defend again.
Ooh, my friends on 9Pandas, they gotta be more careful with these moves. You have no chemical rage, your Aegis is running out too. GG just finding a perfect timing to go here. I mean, the grab ally really doing a lot of work. But look at Kiyotaka, he just has to go out of the fight as well. And I feel like the whole game turned now. Now it's 9Pandas who, in my opinion, they have like one more fight in them. Miero just has 20 tower shots just flying behind him.
Yeah, the fact that they have not been able to get anything other than essentially a range racks in that top lane, that is not good for 9Pandas. And you're right, this is a type of lineup that will run out of steam, especially when you're building all your items into this death ball going at once. And if you can't do it over a course of a couple pushes, it spell trouble for them.
Is Ramses gonna stun himself just to check if it works?
Yep.
Which it does. Because the thing is, for Ramses at 9Pandas, he's been at his strongest point for like the last 6 minutes. Sure, he can still buy some items. He did split the Radiance for the Nullifier, so he'll have that now to like dispel some Force Staffs, Glimmer Capes, the Solar Crest as well, so that will help out. But these heroes on Gaimin Gladiators, they're getting very strong in this game. Like DKTB are not heroes to be underestimated the longer that this game does go. I would like 9Pandas to be more decisive, like they're just casually walking up and like trying to kill a tier 3 and like try to hit the racks, like smoke up, go for a play, you're far behind, you're far ahead, you're super strong, but they're not showing me the confidence right now.
Well, Ags is gifted from Ramses to Kiyotaka. That is one of the best Ags in the game.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big power spike for him.
That's a big one.
And you can see his net worth just catapult now. Yeah, this is maybe the strongest they're going to be in this game. Because at this point, you start thinking about, like, the Ags on the other heroes are, I mean, it's not like they're bad. You might even think of using it on Lycan just to get the refund so you can buy an item on top of it. But this is where Alchemist starts to drop off a bit.
He can upgrade his Blink and then like maybe drop the boots for something. So he's got like maybe a couple more minutes in him where he does feel good. But I think for 9Pandas, now especially you need to hit the time in the game where you talk about how you want to fight. Because the last two fights, like doing it casually, just walking in from the front, is not good. The type of heroes they have is you want to overwhelm the enemy team. You want to get in there with your Ember. Now he has the Axe, he can do it even easier. You have the shapeshift on yourself. You shapeshift on Ramses as well. You just get in there and you overwhelm them. That's how they need to fight. Because Gaimin, they're just going to play the same fight as all the other ones. Allow DK and Dyrachyo to hit and they're chilling.
Kiyotaka going for a very, I mean, I guess it is only 33 minutes. Feels super late. Going for BKB now. That's going to be extremely effective. Obviously, there is the Roar, though, you have to think about. And Dyrachyo with the Daedalus. Ramses. He sees blood. Going for Tofu to start things out with that Nullifier, but that Hand of God is going to keep him very safe. And now Ramses, he's going to get inside the Tombstone, the grab ally again.
Kiyotaka in the back, though.
He pops out early. Now he's taking massive damage. He's going to die outright. No buyback for him at all. And Gaimin Gladiators, they use a buyback onto a support, but their cores are extremely healthy. Kiyotaka gets off a nice slight chains. Going for ace. Looks like he might be able to take him. A triple kill for him. And because of the Aghanim Scepter, able to get away. But
he has a new Remnant in 3 seconds.
Yeah, he gets lifted up. Attempting to TP out again, and he will not make it! The blast off not in time to save him. Now Antares trying to go with the same route with the TP in front of everybody, and that's 0 for 3 on the TPs. This game for 9Pandas, and now I think Gaimin Gladiators are at the advantage.
They're in the driver's seat now for sure. There's Kiyotaka in the backline here with Miero, does get to pick up both the supports in the backline. Good buyback from Tofu, but he's losing his Alchemist in the meantime. As I mean, Dyrachyo and Quinn, their fight is not really on a timer, right? Their forms, they last so long, whereas for 9Pandas, when your BKB runs out or you lose Ramses, you lose your entire front line. As this was a nice play by Kiyotaka, gets the kill, and with the shard gets himself a new Remnant to try and get out. Then he even tries for the Slide of Fist into TP play, but it just barely doesn't work.
Yeah, good attempt.
So close.
If this came out a quarter second earlier,
he would have lived.
Unfortunate for 9Pandas, but we brought this. I mean, I'm not going to say that they've thrown. I don't think that is the case. It's just been better played by Gaimin, but we've seen this story before. 9Pandas at a seemingly insurmountable advantage, and now it's slipping away fight by fight. And like you said, I think Gaimin are in the driver's seat. The reflections have been insane, by the way. Like, they didn't have Radiance there, but in the past they had Radiance, Assault Cuirass. Like, you're getting these auras temporarily on the side of Gaimin.
I mean, he just does so much. And now Dyrachyo, he's got a butterfly. I think both Quinn and Dyrachyo, they are... You can't kill them anymore if you're 9Pandas. Like, you've gone over this threshold of items and HP where no matter what you do, Dyrachyo will be able to stand his ground. And when TB hits this time of the game, he is by far at his strongest. And not only that, he's got the Beast Aura too, backing up. He's got the heals, all the other auras. So 9Pandas, this was certainly their game so far. They still have... I would like to also say that they haven't really used the Shapeshift that well on Ramses. Like, he kind of went in on his own in last fight. Oh, but here it might be. Double Shapeshift.
Yeah, we'll see. They're going to try to go for a last-ditch effort despite being against the Aegis right now. Dyrachyo in the meta form. They're going to focus everything onto Ace to start things out. Ramsey's beating right through him, and they get him. And it looks like Antares is going to be taken out easily by Dyrachyo, and the Tombstone is placed. Well, nobody's going to go inside. Already 3 dead for Gaimin Gladiators. Now they're focusing on everybody that does not have the Aegis. Dyrachyo gets stunned, can't get off the Sunder in time. That is the Aegis down, and now he's going to be in melee form. And 9Pandas is going to completely surround him.
Any high fives?
Gets off the Sunder. Gets off the BKB as well. He wants to try to fight this out. Ramsey, he's going to get taken out very easily. Solo looks to be next. Another Sunder comes out. Fiero has to walk away, but Dyrachyo eventually falls.
Jesus.
Not going to be able to take them 1 versus 5.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know how they take this fight into Aegis, Cheese, Refresher Shard, but they win handily.
They fought properly for once, where they use all their spells and like they set up the fight with the double shapeshift. They run in the back. Tofu is trying to make as much space in the background as possible with his own remnants, and like, all the supports just can't really play. And they found the best target with Ace, where they just go together, grab ally, making, I don't even know if it did some space here, but Antares also buys back. Like, they had to lose like 4 or 5 fights in order to understand how they want to fight.
Apparently.
Let's go, 9Pandas.
Apparently. But this part was hilarious, though. Dyrachyo really showing up. And we can see on the live cam that Celery is going to be taken out. Blast off onto 2 with a Gleipnir there as well. Quinn and Ace have to be careful. Ace has been dying left, right, and center this game. Good targeting from 9Pandas. This is all without Ramses, by the way.
That's a Wolf Ember.
As Fiero and company looking to take out 2 sets of racks. As Quinn slowing Solo to a crawl. The mid racks is now down. Looks like Solo. Can he make it to the grab ally? He does, and then he dies. Grab ally temporarily saves him.
Literally died at the same time to like some splash attack from Quinn there, I think. As they did get 2 buybacks outright, yeah. So both Quinn and Celery, very costly defense, but Gaimin will be very happy to, well, hold on to the game. As well, at this point, it's just going to be about which cores really get to stand their ground and hit. 9Pandas, their initiations need to be crisp, because if they mess up at any point and Quinn and Dyrachyo get to stand their ground, they're going to blast everyone from 9Pandas out of this map.
Okay.
Ah, he's fine. Let's Ramses have the shard.
No. Shard to Antares. Congratulations, techies. I mean, what were they hoping for? I mean, Miero has the wolf spawning.
He doesn't, but I think the wolf is kind of whatever.
I would remnant for Kiyotaka would have been pretty good.
He's got that, so you want either your techies or your ult to get it, and so techies did get it. I would say you're pretty happy about that. Reactive Taser, it's a good game for it.
Yeah, what is Ramses building now? It looks like he's going for, he has Butterfly. So Overwhelming Blink.
Yeah.
And then Shard, so no more Ags, unfortunately. Love to see some Aghanim stuff.
Yeah, if he wants to make himself strong as Kiyotaka.
You have Ace. You can see that is the target every single fight for 9Pandas, and it's worked out as of late. Ramses in the wolf form, gonna self-stun himself.
Second wolf form.
Yep.
And that's a lot of bros running at you.
He's gonna get silenced though, right in the midst of things. Quinn, telekinesis, but the grab ally saving him again. And now Quinn, he's gonna get grab ally. What is this? 2 grab allies in the same game. How can you destroy these tombstones?
Oh, Quinn,
But
he's dying.
when he comes out of the tombstone and dies shortly after, doesn't work as well if you're not on actual Undying's team, it seems. A 2-for-1 to start
Dead
this
for 2
fight.
minutes.
Concoction from Ramsey doesn't have his ult to work with, though.
He's
He's just
shredded.
getting right-clicked down by Dyrachyo. Absolutely melts him. The roar now into Kiyotaka. Do they have the damage? Sleight of fist. Does he have the remnants up? Another sleight of fist. He's going to get the kill, but dies right after the fact. So in the end, it's a 3-for-3. These fights are insane. There's an assault curious on a Chen.
There's some double tombstone action coming out. It's honest, it saved both teams there. Kiyotaka gets put in the first, Tofu stealing the tombstone to then put Quinn in it for the time being, as 20 million zombies are out on the deck right now, slowing everyone.
There's a third tombstone, right? That's the talent. From
It's
Solo.
Solo dying. Yeah, that checks out.
Unless he has a refresh. 3 grab allies available in this fight.
Here, I think maybe you could have tried to play a slower fight, but look at the Dyrachyo's damage. Like, Beast Aura, Penitence, and the Thunder Hide also giving the attack speed to him. Just overestimating how they can fight. Because Dyrachyo is a beast if he gets to hit. He nearly got out there, as he did get a new remnant from killing Celery. Celery has an AC.
And boots of Tranquil, the Tranquil boots picked up.
Boots of Tranquil?
Right? Boots of Tranquil, yeah. Into the boots of Bearing. Of course, very exciting.
Yeah, Tombstone on death has been acquired, so we'll see.
Gotta be careful not to give away that Tombstone.
Yeah.
That gives Rubik 2 saves with his Telekinesis shard.
This game is actually getting crazy.
Yeah.
We're getting some of the higher talents. As Dyrachyo got himself the Sunder talent, I believe.
He used that in the last fight before that, I think, right?
Yeah.
I think 2 uses.
As Ramses is trying to scrape in.
Yeah, that's a lot of Trickster.
4 of them.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, you're playing into like triple physical damage around, so let's check out. I mean, Kiyotaka's doing a great job in these fights, getting on the back lines, like trying to take specifically Tofu out of the game, who in return is also doing a good job at trying to delay it as much as possible. I mean, this Trickster Cloak could be annoying. If you're Kiyotaka, you need someone with a gem or a dust to follow you in order to even kill the Rubik.
True, Kiyotaka's going to show on the wave. You can hear Quinn using his ult.
They're looking for a play.
For an opening. Dyrachyo's going to show himself. A little awkward engagement, Kiyotaka.
Okay, Hex.
6 to start things out. Dyrachyo left all alone right now. Quinn's going to try to focus down on the solo, on dying. But you can see the Terrorblade already at half HP, but the Thunder comes out onto the Lycan, and he's going to drop like a top, and Quinn dies first. And now Ace, the recipient of all this damage from Ramses, again, they're targeting him time and time again. 3 for 2, and now they're going to completely surround Dyrachyo. Can they actually take out this Terrorblade in meta form? He is just standing his ground, and Solo, with all these sentries, cannot get away. Double kill for Dyrachyo. Solo buys back into the game. These tombstones are starting to really stack up here. Gonna be able to kill out that tombstone eventually. And Ramsey's trying to bide his time as Dyrachyo's gonna get spotted.
The flip
Life near to keep him in place.
Oh, he's coming back soon.
They gotta wait for Solo. He's got his blood grenades ready to go. Searing Chains. Concoction from Ramses ready to go as well. Dyrachyo trying to stand his ground again in a 1 versus 3. Will he get the Sunder up? Can they land it? The Abyssal Blade is enough. He does have buyback though.
I don't even
Ace
know
already used his, and they have to defend their base. Looks like 2 sets of racks now. The melee did go down in the top lane.
I don't even know how Tofu survived in this fight. I'm pretty sure Kiyotaka chased him for like 38 seconds. He just somehow TPs out in the fight, but either way, 9Pandas get to win the fight. Got some buybacks going on. They're going to try to push forward as we're in for a heavy roller coaster in this game. But Kiyotaka, he's got a refresher coming out. This man is a scary ember. This has to be by far the highest hero damage of this tournament at this stage. 68k?
Yeah, that's right. That's
that
quite a bit. Right on cue. Now, even if they expend the buyback onto Dyrachyo, he does not have meta for 36 seconds. And it's not like he has an Axe or anything to get the temporary meta. But Quinn, he's going to try to open things up. They're going to get the Dragon Tail first. Kiyotaka
grab ally
into the roar, and he's dead! No grab ally, Solo dieback.
They did this without the Dyrachyo buyback, and Kiyotaka, he doesn't have one in return.
That is disastrous for 9Pandas.
I don't know if they...
And Quinn, I mean, he has an Orchid. Now, his damage is starting to get pretty absurd. Before, it was just him being mega tanky.
Yeah.
But now the damage is coming through.
Yeah, you always need like just 1-2 more items after your axe to start becoming a threat in these longer drawn-out fights, but during this time of the death timers from 9Pandas, Roshan is going to respawn here. Because, yeah, we see the he's just a beast. They can't really deal with him until the very end. You have to play some Medusa gaming where you just ignore him.
Yeah.
It's here. Nice job with the...
Look at Solo coming in for the grab. Ally not
the
in
lift
range.
back, though.
And you can see him lift his arms, but he hasn't worked out enough.
with the limp.
Yeah. I don't think he can build definition in his muscles considering he is dead. An undying creature.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Can't work out those bones, those muscles.
Well, 3K lead for 9Pandas means absolutely nothing here. And this should be a free Roche like you talked about, so it's going to be another refresher shard.
Oh my god. What do they even want? Double? Do you want double
meta.
lore?
It's
Do you
gotta
want
be
double
meta.
meta? I think you could give it to Ace and then pass it on to Dyrachyo in the fight. Because like there's immediate use if you see the double roar, whereas if you want double meta, it's like, I think you have more time to coordinate, but either way, gonna be happy about that. As these fights are just getting crazy. 9Pandas are gonna have to, they need to continue doing what they have been doing.
Yeah.
Where Kiyotaka goes in the back, he does his Dragon Ball, fly around, bounce around, try to kill Tofu, and just try to kite Dyrachyo. So they're doing a party gate into bottom.
They will show themselves on the wave.
What does Celery even buy next?
Rapier.
Yeah, that's a good one.
He has the attack speed now. Ace. Yeah, he is very rich.
I guess you could like buy some Ags, encourage someone.
I'm still waiting for a block of cheese at some point.
Nah, that's never coming. You think any of them think about that? Nah.
No, they probably forgot it existed.
Yeah.
How much HP would it have to be worth going for? It's 500 right now.
I feel like it would have to make you invincible.
Invincible.
Yeah.
Okay.
For
That's
3 seconds, and you can use it on an ally.
That's unreasonable.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Kiyotaka pushing this lane. He's going for a nullifier now. And
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
I think it's a... The nullifier is a good choice. You need to nullify this goddamn Tofu guy who just glimmers and like tricksters away from you as they're going for...
yeah, they're going for Rat Dota. Dyrachyo and company are poking at the high
Rainbow
ground, but
TPs to the back.
if they're not careful, they will get mega'd. And this is going to be a mass TP
There's
from
a roar
Gaimin
that went off.
Gladiators. They get the roar into the Dragon Tail. This will cost the life of Miero.
Oh, Antifear!
Yeah, they do have that Aghanim Scepter on Dyrachyo now. So Terror Wave at the ready. So that play is punished, but it does prevent them from pushing the high ground of 9Pandas. As Ramsey's continuing to farm.
For what? At this point, so
I mean,
he can get the shard, give himself an Axe.
That's true. Axe was buffed at some point to give more damage, and what else does it give actually? Bonus damage and Spell Amp, so Spell Amp is useless, of course.
Yeah, pretty
In this build.
not so important for him.
Yeah, he already has part of it actually. That's right. That's the change, right? You don't have to have an Axe to benefit from it directly.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, Ace is 25. He's got the Primal Roar talent.
At this point, getting an Axe on like techies, if you can gift one to him, fighting into that minefield can be pretty insane.
Yeah, it will help. The only problem is that Gaimin have a lot of heroes that actually get to stand their ground. It's better against heroes that have to like move a lot, but I mean, you'll take anything at this point because fights are not easy for you.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a game changer necessarily, but like at this point, like what else can you go for?
Yeah, I don't think you can do much really.
Like the Undying Axe is good, I guess. I mean, but Solo, I don't know if he has enough in him to get these decays off.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't mind the Undying Axe. I think getting a lot of decays out is good, but this game is just about teamfight execution at this point. I think it's swaying more and more in the favor of Gaimin, where 9Pandas need to start being creative with how they fight, how they move. Need some very crisp communication at this point as Gaimin, they're hitting 9Pandas racks for the first time in this game now.
Backdoor protected, but they have the damage. It seems
Kiyotaka?
right here. 2 heroes. Kiyotaka wants to get the fight started right off the bat. The concoction coming from Ramsey. He is a wolf. He's going to be able to take out that Rubik pretty damn fast, but the roar on the Kiyotaka. Sleight of Fist at the remnant away. Celery looks like he's going to be the first to fall. And now Quinn on the high ground. Kiyotaka trying to out him, but he can't get to the other side of the trees. Might have to TP back to get his mana back. and Quinn just continuing to pound from above.
Thunder.
And Dyrachyo is there as well, as Solo looks to be mega dead, but he still has such a high HP pool. And you can see they are going to get Dyrachyo. That is the Aegis, and now Quinn can be the target. It's nullified right now, the concoction to follow. He's running out of steam, and Kiyotaka, now that he has that full mana capacity, able to do a lot of damage. Triple kill for Ramses in this fight as Dyrachyo continuing to stand his ground with that BKB meta, but he's getting kited as gets off the Sunder, but there's the blast off to follow. He gets off the Refresher, another BKB for him,
Sunder.
and another Sunder to follow, another wave. Can he do the damage needed to actually make a difference in this fight? Because he is getting kited so hard, and you can see their base is getting absolutely destroyed. He's gonna get silent. There's the blast off, and down goes Terrorblade.
Yeah, close on the chains there as well. Okay, Dyrachyo's gonna be forced to have to buy back here as 9Pandas just kind of swinging around the fight with the double wolf form, the ping pong ball that Kiyotaka is, just flying around. Did have to use his Refresher, probably had like 14 remnants in this fight.
That's, yeah, full team wipe, 2 buybacks, and the important thing is, I feel like 9Pandas they're just gonna go in this next few seconds because Terror Wave is down for 50 seconds, Meta down for 100, and he's already used that Refresher chart, although he is about to purchase Refresher Orb. So he will have that at his disposal again.
He's still very strong. He's gonna be, he does have enough money now, as, I mean,
absolute raid boss.
He got off like 4 hexes in the last fight as well, which is absurd. It just goes to show how 9Pandas did play this fight by kiting it out, getting multiple rounds of spells off against the low duration BKBs, as now we're back to the Reagan base.
Yep, fortification. Can they get megas, and will that even be enough at this stage of the game? As Kiyotaka, with the ridiculous amount of damage output in this game, they're going to try to go onto the Rubik, tries to get the force staff up, but the nullifier is there. But Tofu, he steals the Revenant, but the land onto Dyrachyo, he's dead! Die back! Oh my goodness, now Ramses and company trying to go on top of Quinn, but he's going to get saved via the telekinesis. Tombstone placed by Solo, and they're going to focus down the buildings, knowing that this Terrorblade cannot get back into the game. Now if they want to the Ancient fully exposed. Quinn's going to go inside the Ancient. Backdoor protection is there, though, so 9Pandas might have to at least temporarily retreat and wait for a wave, but the Blinken from Ramses, he wants to get revenge onto Quinn. The roar applied to him right now, as Quinn's still inside the freaking Ancient as the Dragon. He is hexed up, nullified. Ace doing a lot of damage with these drums. Are they actually going to focus the Ancient, or are they going to go for these kills? Ramses with the concoction, blast off from Antares. Again, Quinn continuing to rain blows from above inside the Ancient. He's going to go invis temporarily as they're trying to focus down this Ancient, but they don't have the damage yet. The buybacks come out now from 9Pandas. Shivas is there. Quinn finally will drop. He does have his buyback available as Ace gets the Tombstone, and now Kiyotaka.
Ace still has cheese.
The roar is there again, and the cheese to follow. Is this going to be enough damage for Ace? No DK form for Quinn, so he's in this pathetic melee form right now. They take out Kiyotaka, but he revenants back in, gets a huge sleight of fist, and this looks like the beginning of the end for Gaimin Gladiators, but that's another buyback on the Ace, but that's a dieback from the side of Quinn, and now surely they can just focus on the Ancient instead of these heroes, and Ace, that will be the dieback for him. And 9Pandas eventually will take game 1. Holy balls, this was a good one. This was a good one.
What a sicko game. We just had like 18 back and forths. 9Pandas with a sick early and mid game and making, you know, some mistakes. Game and bring it back. They go to their base. You go back and forth. You have like 18 billion different spell usages, buybacks back and forth. But 9Pandas, holy my god, just somehow bring it back with a 2-minute throne push.
That was very back and forth. And there was a point where I thought Gaimin were in the driver's seat. I thought they were going to win. Yeah. We've seen this story before. We mentioned it in this cast. We mentioned it literally every time these teams face each other because it seems to happen time and time again. But 9Pandas able to take it this time. And hey, is it Ramses not tipping? Is that the secret to their success?
I think that's the sauce. But also, bro, Kiyotaka's Ember, holy damn. This guy put a lot of people on his back in this game. His damage output, his prioritization in the team fight, always going on the back. Yeah, Kiyotaka is, I've got my eyes on this young kid for sure. This guy is good.
He has absolutely destroyed. He was level 30 by the end of the game, 17, 5, and 23. That buyback, I mean, that's the thing about Ember Spirit in these extreme late game situations. When you have the Refresher, when you have buyback, you can remnant all the way across to the other side of the map. Like that is, there's not many heroes that can have that kind of impact in this type of late game scenario. But what are you looking to, or what can Gaimin Gladiators do to come back from such a defeat?
I mean, maybe they're used to having, I think, maybe a little more early game and the way where you can kind of like go together with the heroes, but they'll need that next game because 9Pandas, they have used that in this game.
Yep, panel, break this one down.
This one down. I'm on panel yet again with Fear, Lacoste, and Purge. And Fear, I'll be honest, I was prepared to roast y'all when you came back here. Y'all gave me so much gas, so much faith in Gaimin. And at early points in the game, around the 25 to 30 minute mark, I'm thinking this is 100% over. But Gaimin Gladiators started to bring it back. This was much, much closer than it anywhere had to be.
Yeah, for sure, and I was surprised myself. I thought 9Pandas going to that high ground for the first couple times. Like, this game's over. They're up like 17,000 gold. Looks pretty clinical from here, but no, Gaimin Gladiators showing why they're a top-tier team. Even though they're good in the early game, they're also great in the late game here. Being able to almost pull this one back is no easy feat, and props to 9Pandas too. They brought it back again when Gaimin Gladiators brought it back. So both these teams showing how veteran they are in these late game situations.
I think the impressive thing about 9Pandas consistently when I watch them is that Solo and Ramses, they are so good at laning. Like they see these kill opportunities like 3 seconds before they happen, kind of a thing. So that's what happened this game. They completely blew the game open by getting Ace extremely behind. It doesn't happen often. He got behind and Tofu got behind. And then how do they get kills? It's like a Dragon Knight with Midas. It's a Terrorblade who needs time to farm. There's a Chen, there's no damage. So because of that, it took them 25 minutes to level up and get enough auras that they could actually out DPS 9Pandas. That's when the game finally got close.
The game did get very close to the cost, but the execution that we saw from Gaimin Gladiators in these mid-game team fights, we get to see a demonstration of why they are regarded as the best team in the world.
Yeah, pretty much, but it also, like, this Undying Tombstone, it has been nerfed in the previous patch, but it's also so good still. Like, so many saves coming out from Solo. Like, Duraccio, I think he's standing in the middle of a fight, swapping his items, using Refresher, double, triple Sunder, BKB, Wave of Terror. Like, these fights are lasting for so long, and when it comes down to execution, I think, like, just prioritizing targets in the fight, that's what kind of broke the game. Like, this is where 9Pandas came in very clutch, especially Kiyotaka and Miero. Like, Miero first, he was using this Wolf Bite onto Ramses, and then like, you know what, Kiyotaka, he seems to be the real carry of this game because he dealt more than 100,000 damage in this game on his Ember Spirit. Pretty nuts.
Broke records of pretty much every capacity at every minute mark in terms of damage output in this game. Kiyotaka had an incredible performance on his Ember Spirit, but overall 9Pandas just had a great game. And to have a quick highlight of exactly how good this game was, the STC play of the day, of course, is going to belong to them. This fight right here, at this point you're thinking to yourself, all right, Gaimin Gladiators, they just got a Roshan, they just got a Cheese. This is when the momentum was starting to shift back in their direction. But Fear, here, 9Pandas, I'll be honest, I would not have the stomach to pursue this fight immediately after the Rosh.
Yeah, it's all about the initiation here. It's Kiyotaka yet again. We talked about his Ember, just getting in there right away, and I think Miro being able to get that Wolf Bite right away onto Ramses. They just catch him by surprise here. And this is like, when you thought Gaimin Gladiators, they're about to pull it back. They're going to go ahead and take it back the other way and take some barracks. But 9Pandas, not even afraid that they have Cheese and Aegis. They just take that initiation. They show that they're here to play. They're playing to win. They're not playing to lose here. And that's exactly how they turn this game.
In a lot of fights, it was really just about killing Ace first. So when they scouted them at the start of this clip with the Wolves, and Kiyotaka jumps in, breaking Blink Daggers, that means you're not going to see Gladiators jump in. So they get to go the opposite way. Kill Ace first, stop the Roar, take his auras out of the fight, limit their DPS as a result, and that's really... And he also had Greaves too. He was pumping out heals too.
And so many times you see Terrorblade being left alone, you know, because he's the most sustainable with the Satanic BKB Refresher and Aghanim Scepter in the fight, and then he's like, oh, he's gonna clean up. Then there's a Clutch Glimmer Cape, another maybe Grab Ally comes through, just way too many things, and he doesn't have Reveal. Like me and Fear were watching, it's like, oh, there's no gem, there's like nothing, there's no sentry around, so he can't even kill anyone. It looks like he's gonna kill everybody, but doesn't kill anyone in the end.
Yeah, for me, one of the more impressive parts about this game is the fact that even though 9Pandas had an overwhelming amount of physical damage, there were 4 Trickster Cloaks on the side of the Gaimin Gladiators. Somehow they just understood how to play the edges of the fight, going in, going out. Very annoying sort of circumstances for Gaimin Gladiators to have to play into, and ultimately it does lead to their defeat. Their first defeat, Fear, on the Radiant side of the map. That is going to be a huge deal for 9Pandas in their confidence going into Game 2.
Oh, definitely. I think if you're playing against Gaimin Gladiators as well, they're starting to look more and more mortal. You win a game like that on 9Pandas, you beat them in the early game, you beat them in the late game. You've got to be really confident. You just got to be a little careful about that mid game there where it slipped just a little bit for them.
Yeah, it's also going to give him a lot of confidence coming into game 2, because I was a little worried. You know, they had, what, 15, 16, 17,000 net worth lead, and if they lost that game, team like 9Pandas, they do tend to crumble in the second game. But this, I think this is going to be a huge boost just overall for the team.
Very big boost for the side of the 9Pandas overall. Very good thing that as they came out onto the stage, we saw Ramses flexing, making sure that he's ready for this matchup. And of course, there's more flexing happening elsewhere here on the Riyadh Masters. To show you some of that flex, we have our man Jenkins in the gym with the coach of Team Liquid.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Here at the gym at Riyadh Masters with the illustrious coach of Team Liquid, who just 2-0 Team Tundra, the TI winning team. How did that series go? Did that go as planned? Did they do anything that surprised you?
I felt kind of bad for them because they have AUI, who is obviously a really good player, but it's obviously not Soxa. So yeah, it was tough, but you know, got the job done. Felt like we're gaining confidence, so it was good.
So in terms of this event versus other events, I know you've said some of them, your team needs a lot more coaching because you guys are figuring stuff out. Sometimes you kind of chill and they've got everything figured it out. What's this event like in terms of how much you're coaching compared to other ones?
This event is pretty tough actually for that. I think like we have to do a lot more work here to be good because everybody's really motivated. And
you're not done your set.
I've done like 18 reps now. It's really hard to focus. Like,
okay, I got another question for you. So, one thing, of course, as you are the Gym Buddha and I'm one of your disciples, you have this 7 out of 10 philosophy, and I was wondering if you could quickly explain that to the audience. Your 7 out of 10 philosophy.
Oh, it's just like most of the time I usually try to list a workout between 1 to 10, 10 being like, I cannot physically do more. And that's usually where you quit out at. And then usually I try to aim for like a 7 or an 8 so that I'm not myself. Like I know that there's room to grow. Like if I say something's like a 5 or 6, I'll try to push myself up, or I'll do more weight, or I'll do more reps, stuff like that. But I'm kind of out of shape right now, but I'm doing my TI grind now.
And there are 7 out of 10s in life as well, right? It goes outside the gym, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Matsu told me once that on our team, like when things are going well, you should push and try to like make people a bit unhappier and not so satisfied. And when things are going poorly, you want to like pump up the mood and not focus so much on the Dota stuff. So, you know, it's about knowing the balance of where things are at all times.
All about the balance, ladies and gentlemen, here at the Riyadh Masters with Team Liquid. Blitz, thank you very much for working out with me and joining me on this interview. He's maxing that out, so he's actually very tired right now, and so am I. So we'll go back to the panel. Shout outs to you, panel.
Thank you very much, Jenkins. And of course, 9Pandas and the side of Gaimin Gladiators, both of them were playing at a 10 out of 10 in that game. Absolutely nothing left on the table. We see them resting and preparing for their next matchup. As they do, 9Pandas coming into this game were undefeated on Ember Spirit, undefeated on Lycan, only suffering a solitary loss on the Alchemist. At this point in time, they don't feel like they need to change anything at all here, Fia. They can just pursue exactly what they've been doing already, because it can work even against Gaimin Gladiators.
Yeah, definitely, especially because Gaimin Gladiators, they got their comfort too. They got a draft that they're well familiar with. They got Radiant, which they were 100% win rate on. They broke both of those. And it's really come down to Gaimin Gladiators. You probably just don't give them that drafting, and you got to ban some of those key heroes you just mentioned.
You know what numbers they did fulfill, though, was increasing Chen's lose rate.
Oof, how bad is it now?
I don't know. Who cares? It's terrible.
It's dropping down below 20. It's, at the end of the tournament, it just might be.
Why do you think teams keep picking the Chendo Purge? Because every single time that we see it, right, there are some glimmers of hope, but reliably, game in, game out, it ends up sort of falling flat. And it's not like he didn't have a good game on the Chen. He was extremely well farmed on this hero. Their lane went well, and they still lose.
It's not the best jungle hero. That's the problem. So people are like, well, I need a jungle hero. Chen it is. And then they're like, oh, weird, it keeps losing. I wish this was Enchantress, or I wish this was somebody else. That's the problem.
Another hero that they've just lost on again here, Lacoste, is this Beastmaster. This is their third game on Beastmaster at this tournament, and they have not been able to eke out a victory just yet on the hero. What's going on? Because normally I'm used to Ace dominating the entire map, being top net worth on the hero, being extremely instrumental in the fights. Why is it not working?
Especially in this one, he got focused heavily. I think just going for the backlines, what Kiyotaka was doing, taking out these supports, go on Chen, make him feel uncomfortable, maybe use Hand of God. Same goes for the Beastmaster, because Beastmaster, what he wants to do in a team fight, he just like pops that Aghanim Scepter, Drums of Slum, Roar gets the max stacks immediately, and then he's sustainable. Like, he's very difficult to kill, especially if there's another like layer of items. If you get a Force Staff, a Glimmer Cape on top of him, he just doesn't die that early on. But they like went full force on Beastmaster, take him out, which also means that they lose a lot of attack speed coming out from his aura, so that's a big deal when you have Terrorblade with that extra attack speed. It's just a good prioritization coming up from 9Pandas.
One of the focuses I want to have here, Fia, is a positive aspect of what we saw from Gaimin Gladiators. Even though they ended up losing, yes, they were mounting a very good comeback, but Tofu played. That was one of the best Rubiks I've seen this entire tournament so far.
Oh, he definitely played great. I think everyone on Gaimin Gladiators, when they got behind, when things were getting hard, they kept their composure. They know what their win condition was still, and they went for it. And I think this is like two teams right now that are playing at the top level of Dota here. I would not be surprised if both these teams make it to the playoffs, and even if they get to the playoffs, they do really well here. We're seeing some top-notch Dota.
The playoffs beckon for both of these squads right now. 9Pandas, with this victory, get themselves out of the relegation zone and are very much on track to enter the playoffs. And we're going to be seeing if they have what it takes to make it a 2-0 fashion over Gaimin Gladiators as we enter into game number 2. The bell has rung. Game 2 is about to be underway between 9Pandas and Gaimin Gladiators. Historically, it has been very much favored for the Gaimin Gladiators. 9Pandas have been able to go 1-1 in group stages before, but not a single time in their history have they gone 2-0 over the Gaimin Gladiators. Purge, is this a possibility here based on the state of play that you saw from 9Pandas? How confident are they going into Game 2?
I think it's very possible. I mean, Gladiators, they draw with a decent amount of teams in group stage, so this doesn't scare me too much for their overall stakes, and 9Pandas has shown to be playing really effectively. I mean, they've drawn every team except for EG, so that's a lot of other really solid teams, including Quest Esports. So yeah, they can definitely take it to them. It just comes down to the draft, and I think Gaimin Gladiators identified problem number 1. It's the Undying. It is the Blood Grenade hero, and they have the Blood Grenade player, so like, why would you let them have it?
Yep. Another thing they do really good with this Undying Lacoste is that every game, between 5 and 7 minutes, Solo will come to your side of the map, take the Twin Gate on this Undying, ensure that they get kills there. Are there any other heroes that you can think of that can give them that degree of aggression from the 5 role?
Look at the heroes that Solo played. I mean, he loves to be very active on heroes like Clockwork and also Batrider, like even Disruptor. Like, these are heroes that when he plays it, tends to go through the Twin Gates, gets a lot of stuff done, but Undying's one of those heroes that just like dives the tower. He does not care too much about it, drops the Tombstone, and then your carry just dies. But I like how they address the problem, and 9Pandas, they will get the Rubik of their own. This is also, you know, a flex pick for them. They could play it on Solo if necessary, but definitely feels like Antares hero. Like I think Antares, and also just to bring back like the techies from the last game. I think techies nowadays, like you need to be really good at the hero. There was like 3 patches ago, where everybody's like, you know what, I'm a techies player now because the hero was so OP, but now you need to really be good at it to make it work, especially in the pro scene.
And they actually spammed it before it got good too. Like they were like the techies player, so that's why it looked decent last game.
Speaking of decent, the Enchantress comes out for Celery, you know. Purge was mentioning here that Chen not necessarily the best jungle hero. Edge, very, very good still.
Yeah, definitely, especially when Celery plays that one of his signature heroes here. I've been struggling a little bit looking at Gaimin Gladiators, which I normally don't struggle with their first 2 to see what they're going to pick, but even they're struggling on their first 2 what they want to pick here, which is very unusual for them. And I think that's because 9Pandas, they have a very good read on how to ban against them. They ban the Timber, they ban the IO, they're even forcing Gaming to ban the Undying and Brood, both heroes that they love to play here. So now it looks like they're just going to revert back a little bit towards like last patch, right? These are 2 nerfed heroes, and they're just going to first phase them, and they didn't snap pick them, which means I don't feel like this is like utmost confident thing from Gaimin Gladiators, thinking they didn't want this necessarily. They're just kind of like settling with it.
Yeah, pretty much, because they haven't drafted. I just had to check because it didn't ring a bell. Opening up with position 4 and 5 in the first phase, it just doesn't scream Gaimin Gladiators, because you want to be opening up, you know, having at least that 1 core. It can also be, you know, this offlane Enchantress that Ace ran a few times throughout the DPC, but most likely it's just going to be a Celery hero, and 9Pandas, because Enigma was still available, they're going to pick it up. We see the rise of Enigma from the position 5 role. It looks really good. Malefice has been buffed. It's also a hero that does tend to go to jungle early on. This is something that Purge touched upon. You know, Chen in the previous game, sure, he jungles, but he doesn't jungles as fast as Enigma.
Yeah. This hero's pretty good with Blood Grenade as well, you know, with the Malefice. He can utilize it. We saw a lot of that last game, Ace. It was just solo. He's just getting behind him with a Tombstone, Blood Grenade, and he would just die. You can do the same thing with Enigma, just the Malefice, Blood Grenade, have some right-clicking carry. And we know how much solo loves to go through that twin gate too as well, to go try and gank the enemy carry. This is a really good hero for him, so I do like that pickup a lot.
Yeah, my viewpoint of the techies pick is they're trying to force 9Pandas into being more limited on what supports they could pick, because Solo's most picked so far are Oracle at 5 matches and Shadow Demon at 5, but Shadow Demon plus Rubik feels a little too weak to me. I think Enigma fits those gaps better at laning, gives them some good team fight, and the flex isn't terrible either. And they certainly weren't going to pick it themselves because they're against a Rubik, which is just kind of dangerous to do.
Very good point on the flex, because Miro has played this hero as well for 9Pandas, so they certainly can deploy it in a bevy of roles. I'm also very curious about what they're going to follow this up with in the second phase for Gaimin Gladiators, given that they have to reveal double core. So probably Ace's hero first and then followed up with Quinn's hero to end off with Diraicho, I imagine, but we shall see. But interestingly enough, 9Pandas, despite the fact that they just won with the Lycan, they're the ones that make the decision. This feels pretty good. Let's remove it from the game.
Yeah, Enigma really suffers against Lycan. There's no way for you to protect, especially if you go for Helm of the Overlord build. Rubik as well, you put yourself in a spot where you're like, well, how do we deal with that? And then you, most of the time, is just going to die. But have in mind, this is also Rubik into techies. Like, we've seen this matchup so many times where Rubik just takes over. He takes the mines, and then he can be the one, that annoying position 4 that does set up for Roshan defense. And then you can see the smokes coming up, especially for the later stages of the game.
We'll see if Antares can get his hands on it, though. Last game, we didn't really see the Rubik. We didn't see Tofu able to steal that spell specifically, even though he played well otherwise. But considering that Gladiators are maybe less of techie specialists, there's a higher chance he gives it away, I think.
Yeah, and I think for this Enigma flex, it's going to be a little more difficult unless they're willing to pick their carry right out of the gate here, because they have to pick first, and then Gaimin Gladiators will respond with 2 heroes. So if they pick a support, they're going to know the Enigma's offlane. If they pick like any mid or offlaner as well, they're going to know kind of a bit where this Enigma's going. So I guess they could pick a mid or a carry here if they want to still flex, but I don't think that's something you particularly want to do on first pick here. So I believe this most likely will be a support Enigma, and then they'll probably just end up picking some core that might be good for the game here. But what would that be? It's hard to say, because Gaimin hasn't really shown anything. They've just shown 2 supports at this point. So I would pick something for 9Pandas that just fits well with your draft, and that could be anything at this point. If Rubik's gonna be your 4, most likely you want to pair with a melee pos 3.
5 seconds remaining.
So we have Doom removed. Obviously, 9Pandas play that hero across 3 different roles. They have taken out the Pangolier from Quinn and no Beastmaster for Ace. And despite the fact that the Beastmaster ended up losing, like you said, Lacoste, every fight where he was alive and instrumental in the fight, they win. When they kill him first, they lose. So rather remove that X factor from the game entirely.
Oh, so they're gonna get Ember Spirit. Last time, they protected Ember Spirit with some of these nastier picks. There was a Huskar ban, and there was also, what was it?
Snapfire, I think.
Snapfire, yeah. This is the hero that I'm looking at because he does well against Enchantress. It's like, maybe they need one hero to play off. You can play off Malefice. Rubik is so-so. It's not like the best hero to play with the Snapfire, but I could definitely see Snapfire being picked up here.
Yeah, I think that'd be a really solid snag. I do like the Ember against those 2 supports, though, generally, because you're going to be able to hit the back line and find them, and that should make it easier for you and your other cores to pick them apart. Especially if we're talking about Enigma 5, he can't really defend himself very well, especially against an Ember who's going to be zipping around all the time. Even like landing in a good black hole kind of just takes that out of the equation and makes Enigma more of a strong laning hero and not much else. So, and Quinn's very good on it too, so I think it's a good pick in this position.
The only thing I'd be careful for here on 9Pandas, maybe I wouldn't pick it now, but Kiyotaka has played Meepo.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah, I gotta be careful for
looking.
Meepo. Because these heroes right now are not good versus the Meepo. Not at all. So they're either going to pick something stable for him that's good against the Ember, or they'll just end up picking their carry here, plus their supporter off lane, and then maybe wait until it's a perfect Meepo game in that last pick and see if Gaimin Gladiators does sniff that out or not.
They do have good damage solutions against Meepo, though. I mean, there's pure damage from Enchantress.
Yep.
Techies does do a lot of AoE damage, which is kind of mixed good, but...
Let's see if they want to keep that option available. So maybe try to camouflage it or just pick up position 5 hero or offlane. I think this Enigma is going to be 5. Never mind. So just get some offlaner and leave this potential Meepo pick for the last. This is also Juggernaut. I think Ramsey is one of the better Juggernaut players out there. Like all these Eastern European carriers, pretty much when you
love it,
yeah, when you feel like there's a tough game coming up, Juggernaut is going to show up.
Really thinking about it here. It's like, do we want to pick our mid here? What do we want to do with our Enigma? There's lots of questions here for 9Pandas because they do have that flexibility here. And they are probably talking about maybe we can get that last pick Meepo. We don't want to pick it now. So a lot of internal discussion here as the clock winds down. One
of the things I really like about Jug against these heroes is that he's very good against like these like poke from long range initiators. Like if he gets slight chains, he puts down the healing ward, you know? And even if he gets followed up on, healing ward's already done. Kind of similar with Techies as well. Ooh. And a Witch Doctor?
Is that the first Witch Doctor of the game?
I think when I last checked yesterday, he was not picked.
Yeah. This is interesting because now there's so much sustain on the side of 9Pandas.
Yeah.
You were mentioning that they poke and prod from Gaimin Gladiators. I mean, healing ward down and plus the heals from Witch Doctor, that feels really, really good.
It's like not even that amazing against the enemy heroes. I mean, you can. It's good against Enchantress. You can Maledict ulti and kill her pretty easy that way compared to other hero solutions, but you said it's not the first?
It's not the first, unfortunately. I don't know how many. It's not on the uncontested list anymore, which means it has been picked at some point.
So now they see the matchup, so they got to figure out like how to counter this Juggernaut. There is Faceless Void. I think Terrorblade still works, but then you're going to be playing into Enigma in the lane. I don't think you're going to be getting much. I think there's also like Monkey King route where you do
it out, I think.
Or just Dusa it out?
Yeah, I think you just pick Dusa in this situation. You don't want to pick Void against Enigma, Monkey King. It can work, but it's just it's not stable, right? I don't want to see Dyrachyo playing a Monkey King if he could just play Medusa.
I like Monkey because...
Oh, they take the Meepo. Okay.
So, but this is, you know...
Could be offlane too.
Offlane Meepo, yeah.
Ace Classic, right?
Yeah.
You used to play this like all the time, way before it was popular.
This is good. We'll find out, but it is interesting because that does take away the 9Pandas option of taking that later on in the draft here.
Isn't it kind of difficult to play this Meepo into not just Midnight Pulse, but also the Maledict?
I think it's not that scary because between either Shard or Mega Meepo, you actually have pretty good solutions, you know? I mean, if all of them get Maledicted, that's kind of scary, but if they focus like one Meepo, throw them in the ground for a couple seconds, Mega Meepo, I think you'll be able to protect yourself generally.
You know what? Is it Shaker time for the mid? Kiyotaka's specialty against Ember Spirit, against Meepo. Maybe it's time to bang it out. Also, like,
Tinker?
Tinker's also fine. You also picked picked up Meepo into Witch Doctor. Like usually Witch Doctors, they don't tend to max out their stuns anymore.
Shaker gone.
But I feel like you could max out the stun here on Witch Doctor and own this Meepo.
Earlier on, when we heard some mention about the Snapfire, would it still be possible here to just get an overabundance of magic damage going?
I think it's going to be... It'll work versus the Meepo, but what I fear is that it'll take too long to come online. And it could be fine in the mid lane. I do like the idea of, like, you know, he loves his Tinker. You're playing versus a Meepo. That'd at least be more fun to watch, but Snapfire is fine too.
I think they need a better solution against Ember if they pick Snap. Like, you could catch him, but between like Witch Doctor and Rubik supports, it might be a little harder. They need like a longer duration disable so he can't just like zip out at some point. If they're worried about that hero.
I mean, there's always Kiyotaka, Queen of Pain. I think that hero also works.
How about Kiyotaka Wind Ranger?
Isn't Quap versus Meepo too dangerous though? Because you just get chain netted?
It is. I mean, anything into like Meepo that's like Storm, Ember, these type of heroes. But I'm just looking at, you know, burst damage that they might need to have good in the lane against Ember Spirit. There's also potentially like Wyvern maybe from the mid lane just to be able to deal with that Meepo. But I feel like what Fear has been saying, this Tinker might need to go here. That they have a lot of options, like they're not necessarily locked. Oh, we don't have anything from the mid lane to counter both Ember, Meepo, and another carry coming up from Gaimin Gladiators. So I think they're in an okay spot.
Yeah, the Wind Ranger could be okay. The only issue I have is I feel like this new Meepo has a lot of tools against Wind Ranger. Like you focus fire one Meepo, it burrows, it goes into the Mega Meepo, and then all of a sudden you lose your focus fire. So that could be a potential issue here. I think they just need some overwhelming AoE damage, as you normally do against the Meepo. And Ace, he's a great Meepo player. Not sure if Daracho will play it, if they have that flexibility. But they're going to ban the Snapfire. They think it's the best. Kiyotaka Tinker time. Let's go. It should do well versus Ember in the mid lane. You're playing versus a Meepo. If there is a time to pick Tinker, it is now.
Okay, boys. They've got a ton of heals between the Witch Doctor and the Juggernaut. Is there any likelihood of them going for the Leshrac at this point?
It's not enough damage, I don't think, without IO. It's generally just performed poorly without that combo. It loses a lot in that sense. You have to go like a different item build too that's maybe not as survivable. It's just a lot of issues, I think.
Wow.
Oh, all right.
This hero, like there's a couple of heroes that, like there was a time throughout the DPC where Ember was first phased, and there were a couple of these heroes that just like destroy Ember on the mid lane. Necro popped up a couple of times, Shadowfiend. This is a really tough matchup for Ember Spirit.
It also plays really well with both Juggernaut and Witch Doctor, right? Overabundance of magic damage, you have some negative armor as well, helps buff up what you need.
And sustain
Meepo Naga, okay.
This is a net lineup. They have Meepo,
really
Naga Siren, Enchantress with the Troll Creep.
And there's fire nets
the
as
fire
well.
nets
Syrian
as well.
chains,
There we go.
Okay.
This game's so interesting, actually, because I think Enigma is borderline impossible to win your lane against Enchantress. So that should give free farm, especially you have a Naga there too. So you're going to free farm there. But then in the mid lane, you have Quinn, who's going to struggle a lot. And versus Kiyotaka's Shadow Fiend. And I don't know what's going to happen to this Meepo offlane. Like, versus Jug Witch Doctor. I see Meepo not doing well there, but I could just be vastly underestimating this hero. A lot of new stuff here. It should be very interesting.
Yeah, they do have a lot of kill potential in that Jug Witch Doctor lane. It's kind of a classic, like Maledict plus spin. Somebody usually dies, so that might be enough to kill the Meepo, but even if Quinn has a bad time, I feel like him ganking side lanes should be successful against Enigma, against Rubik, against Witch Doctor. So that's probably his targets.
Quinn's straight up not going to have a good time in this one, but we've also seen him bouncing back like multiple times. He's like 0-6, and they still manage to win the game. He does have really reliable teammates that can like carry the game. And Ace Meepo, always a pleasure to watch. I think this might be like the most hyped I've been for the match, just by judging by the picks, because it's going to be super interesting. These are not the picks that you see every day.
Yeah. I was just convinced myself real quick about the Shadow Fiend mid too, because they're going to win bot lane so hard. Celery's going to have complete freedom to keep ganking mid on this Enchantress, and that's going to be a big problem, I think, for 9Pandas.
All right, let's hear it. Well, gentlemen, votes, Purge. Which way are you leaning here? Gaimin Gladiators or 9Pandas or Game 2?
I'm going to go with Gaimin Gladiators this game. I just feel like they're more confident in their picks. They got some weird stuff. They're going to make it work.
Lacoste?
I'll go with GG again.
Fear?
I mean, I'm going for either Celery Inch or Kiyotaka SF. I don't know. One of them's going to pop off.
I mean, y'all
I
went
refuse to
3-0.
pick.
No, you have to. No, you gotta pick.
Wait, what did
He
they pick
decides-
again?
GG.
I'm going 9Pandas.
You're gonna go 9Pandas. All right.
Kiyotaka, I trust.
In Kiyotaka we trust. All right. In Kiyotaka we trust indeed. We don't get to see the Shadow Fiend being busted out in the mid lane all that often. However, there was already a Meepo in the game. There was already an Ember Spirit. Kiyotaka plays both of these heroes at an extremely high level. So if he feels confident in the Shadow Fiend, we absolutely have no reason to doubt him. Of course, they have the Juggernaut for Ramses, and we've seen just how much damage this man can pull off on this hero. Very excited to see what Game 2 is going to bring us. Game 1 was already a cage match. This game promises to be a war in the field of Dota. So to bring us that action, we have Sunsfan and Kezu. Gentlemen, lead us into battle.
Excited for this pause that we just had right now, but some epic heroes, Kezu. I cannot contain my excitement. My hands are literally in the air, and you can attest to this.
I can confirm.
Meepo, I have not gotten a cast in probably years at this point.
Probably.
Shadow Fiend is always a classic, and then the Witch Doctor out of nowhere. I mean, you said they picked him earlier today, but
Yep.
very underpicked hero right now in this meta. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Talk to you. This is a very classic draft, first of all, of course. The off-lane Meepo with the carry Naga
That's
Siren.
right. Yeah.
Where you just have like 20 billion summons all around. I kind of like the 9Pandas draft where they have a lot of like this sustain with some healing ward. You have the Witch Doctor heal coming through later as well. Maybe some auras on Miero with this really fat Kiyotaka Shadow Fiend who, to be fair, he should have a good lane. But I like that Fear pointed out. This bottom lane for Gaimin is very free. So I think both Tofu and Celery are going to look to really offset this early tempo that Kiyotaka's going to have. And if they can do that, I think they drastically increase their win percent in this game.
Yeah, Gaimin Glad, I mean, this is a cool lineup. The Meepo has a lot of sustain now because of Dig. And you have Enchantress for the heals. I just wish we could have seen the Undying. I'm not going to lie. I know I'm a Grab Ally fan. I know I'm a Grab Ally fan.
These heroes are way cooler.
No. I'm not saying they're not.
Okay.
I'm just saying I would love to see the interaction with Grab Ally and Meepo because you can just go in and out, and then you'll have enough time to dig, you know.
You just,
pretty cool.
And then you put Visage in the same team and everyone just goes down and never gets hit.
I won't lie. The dig mechanic, I mean, it's basically Visage, right? They got a little lazy with that one. Minus the stun, I suppose, but basically a stone form. But
I do wonder, like, if you get levels on Meepo and like some Wraith Band and like some attack speed later, like maybe there's a way where you just man up always with one Meepo when they go on you with the spin, with like levels in Ransack, and you just try to like heal through it. But most of my eyes are going to be on this mid lane between Quinn and Kiyotaka, similarly to last game. I would say Kiyotaka's got a very good matchup on his hands this time around. SF versus Ember, this is not a good matchup for Quinn here.
Yeah. How many points in Flame Guard do you just have to max it in this matchup?
There's like, I think it depends on how you want to play in like 2 minutes coming into the game, because I would say his supports are going to try to play through him. So maybe there's like a 1-2 build as Ace up top.
Yep, they're going to spin down Ace.
Spin the
Looks
win,
like
baby.
that's going to be first blood for Solo on the Witch Doctor. And Ramsey's going to force Tofu out of lane as well. So talk to me about the Witch Doctor as well. Why do other teams not pick this hero?
That's not sure why other teams aren't really picking it. I think this hero is still very playable. The heal is very good, and we just saw them put it to very good use there. They were pushing the wave in with the Voodoo Restoration. They had like 5-6 creeps on them. They got, I think, even level 2 before, so Ace was tanking all of this stuff. And overall, I don't know, I just feel like Witch Doctor is kind of a pretty boss hero. You just heal, you help your carry, then you can go around, you have the Maledict. So I think maybe other people just
used to be a pseudo counter to Chen and Enchantress because of the paralyzing cask just lasting forever in terms of stun, but that was changed. Right now it's just extra damage onto the creeps.
You just deal damage, and you of course you have the classic heal that I think most people just want to max out. The sustain from it is really strong, and I think when they picked like all this Witch Doctor and Jug, like having the sustain against Ench, Ember, and Techies who deal a lot of damage over time, I think it's a very, very cool concept.
Also a hero that has a good shard, because you'll eventually take out the Tormentors.
He also leaves the game for a little bit.
That's right. Gives them a little save for himself, a mini grab ally that does damage. Everything's
grab ally.
It has to be compared to the best.
Grab ground.
That's right.
As Quinn doing pretty well so far in this lane. I would assume he's going to go some like 0-2-2 or maybe 1-1-2 build, and then it depends on how the side lanes are going. That's like maybe where you communicate, okay, can you guys come mid, or I need you guys to come mid, minute 5, 6, I'm gonna get the levels of chains to set you guys up. As Ace looks like he's gonna have to play a little more passive up top. I think you need a couple more items, maybe 2 levels in Ransack or the second Meepo to then really start playing more aggressively in that lane.
And what about the Jug versus Naga matchup when you get to mid to late game? Like, what kind of itemization does Ramses need to go for? Because we've been seeing Battle Fury. Is that good enough against the Illusions, or do you need to go for like a Maelstrom type?
I wonder what he will do. I think both is good. From most Jugs I've seen, they just kind of have to go Battle Fury, and they do that. But perhaps they want to play for like a more mid-game timing, where you just have Kiyotaka be the front-lining dude, you get a Maelstrom and like a Yasha, and you try to go fight, but wouldn't be surprised if we just see the Battle Fury. I think Jug does pretty fine against Naga. Yeah, Quinn. Triple raise, there's a glyph.
Yep, he's got another raise to work with.
Tries to fake him out. Does it again.
Very nicely done from Kiyotaka, but it's going to cause double TPs to come in. Tofu blast off hits. And Kiyotaka,
there's a chain.
Very fire as well. They want to force Tofu to get the kill, which he will. But still, does cause rotations to come from Gaimin. But a nice rotation overall.
Those are big plays from both. Like Kiyotaka fakes it, Quinn doesn't fall for it, then does it again. But by the time the raids did hit, all the stacks had worn off, I think. So nice TP from Tofu as well, as now Quinn is going to get themselves both of the water runes. So this is going to make the next move even easier. So very nicely done from them. Around you, a little bit of pressure. But to be fair, they touched on it before as well. This is just it's a very free lane for the Ratio. So we're going to see Celery move out pretty soon.
Yeah, back to the Meepo, because just going to talk about this hero ad nauseum until we actually see him do something. But they have a lot of saves, as we're going to see Maledict onto the Ratio. Blood Grenade is there. Solo. You know, he's always going to be stacked up with those blood grenades. The Eidolon's continuing to chase.
Is it enough of the tango?
Nope. Maledict is enough. Solo, another kill for him.
Solo gone. I think Solo might have one of the... He has to be like top 3 support players with the highest amount of twin gaze usages in like the first 6 minutes. He will always dive your goddamn tower with his blood grenade and just get in there.
Tofu looking for an opening as the healing board comes down.
This is nasty.
Yeah, they definitely have the sustain. They have a decent amount of push.
Solo, he better be getting some blood grenades right now, because I love his inventory, but he's missing the grenade.
Yeah, that's true. A little slacking here from Solo. But then again, Gaimin does have a lot of sustain themselves as well. As Requiem coming out, it's going to be faked. Quinn has to use the Remnant. Nice job from Kiyotaka. Damn, this is an epic 1v1 matchup, I have to say.
Yeah, this is some open AI stuff going against each other, faking each other out, going in, going out. TP's getting forced as probably the first super important time for both mid heroes. The active rune is spawning as Ace is top up in the net worth. And I think now you can kind of leave him alone and he can fight back, I think, into this dire lane. I'm pretty sure he can just stand his ground with treads, just fight with Ransack.
Yeah, most likely. Kiyotaka getting forced out by Quinn. The Searing Chain is there. Tarius is here along with Celery. Requiem comes out Solo with the heals.
Block grenade.
Bolt. Not enough to get a kill outright as the Tomato looking for something, but can only find his way to the grave. And Quinn ticking out.
Oh my god,
survive. Ramsey's gonna Blade Fury in the top lane, but the Earthbind is there from Ace, and like you said, he can just
he got him.
He can just right click through the Blade Fury.
I think this one-on-one top is actually unplayable. Like, he's just gonna right click you with 2 levels on Ransack, Wraveband, Treads. Like, what are you gonna do here as Ramses if you get left alone? But you're gonna be left alone because Gaimin supports are just gonna go mid and play through Quinn.
Yeah.
Round 2, baby.
That's right, double raise. Kiyotaka's slow though. Quinn
chains
with blood chains. Tofu's on the other side as well. Sticky Bomb will not latch though. And Quinn ends up wasting a remnant there, but Kiyotaka is gonna be able to walk away just fine. A lot of action in this mid lane. You can see that both teams really making sure that their mid laner has a good game.
I mean, this is the adjustment from Gaimin from game 1 to game 2. They're the strongest when they can leave their side lanes and play through Quinn in the mid lane. Even with a bad matchup, they're now even. They're going to keep pressuring there, and this is the best situation to put Ace into, where he just gets his one-on-one, he does well, he's going to be top of the net worth, he's going to do a good job at staying there, and overall the pressure on this map right now is very high from Gaimin.
Celery being the usual annoying enchantress that he is in these early stages of the game. This is a hero that, I mean, we do see banned from time to time. feel like it has some of the highest impact of any
Some
support.
meeple down bottom though.
Yeah, through the gate. Ace. Oh, sticky bomb onto Miero. Blast off is gonna hit, and Ace should be able to finish the job. The black hole comes out with Antares, but there's the song from Darachu to cancel.
He just got level 6 for the song.
And Ace, gotta think they will be able to kill off Miero, although he misses the Earthbind onto the Enigma, and the heals coming out from the rest of 9Pandas will actually be enough. But meanwhile, Kiyotaka takes a tumble, as Celery able to take him out, but the Omni Slash onto Quinn, not quite enough. So Ramsey's making a quick rotation, but not enough to save their mid laner.
Some big moves from Gaimin right now, using the heroes in the right place at the right time. Ace still camping one meeple down bottom, and I love the wards that Gaimin have placed in this early game. Like when they push SF out of this mid lane, there's one ward to his left when he farms the jungle. There's also one ward in the triangle if he falls back there. So Gaimin know exactly how they want to push forward, as Ramsey is probably not too happy about TPing mid here, using his Omni Slash for basically nothing.
We're going to see the replay of the kill onto Kiyotaka. Yeah. They just dove the tower. The typical Enchantress type things.
Nice done.
Have the creep tank all the tower hits.
Yeah. Just making it look too easy. Well, that's one of the things SF does not deal very well with, as the Darachu being dove. Good lane ward. Being dropped by Solo. Just going to walk it off. His Q-Tech has a Blink Dagger queued up. I'm not sure he's going to continue with that. But we'll have to see.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
I wish the Arcane Blink build was still a thing.
The Arcane Blink Rush, you're dead.
That's actually sad that that's not in the game anymore.
That's true.
Just for this hero. But definitely more right-click oriented. This is why the Blink Dagger is a little strange. We'll see if he commits or not.
And you've got the split pressure coming in right now, which is happening a lot more in Tier 1 Dota right now, where you know, really 5-mana tower or 4-man, you just have multiple heroes pressuring like different lanes at the same time, where Ace is very annoying up top. They're bringing 3 heroes here to stop him from that, but in the meantime, you're just completely sacking your mid lane and your mid Tier 1 tower.
Yeah. Yeah, Kiyotaka not able to come down to this side in any way. No escape mechanism. That's always been the downside of the Shadow Fiend, but I mean, would you say that he has the same kind of comeback mechanic, if you will, that he used to, where you can just go into the jungle and just clear waves?
Yeah, I mean, he still comes back very well into the game, and luckily for him, he has a lot of heroes that help enable him in the mid game, as Ramsey's taking a lot of pressure.
Yep. Ramses, Tomato
Man.
Solo's there again with the heals. But Quinn wants to finish the job. He wants to kill Ramses, but might have to settle for Solo.
Or neither.
Yeah, doesn't have mana to follow it up any further, so Solo has come in several times. Oh,
he got him!
Did get him in the end.
Little sneaky Quinn with his DD rune comes back in as Ace instead of Atos. My goodness, a 10-minute Atos. Now going to try to work into the Mega Meepo.
That's right.
Of course. One of the funniest acts in the whole game. Here we get the little arcane boost onto Quinn. Solo's like, yeah, I'm fine. Nope. If he has the tower aura there, I think he lives. I think it's just outside of it. He's like, oops.
Solo's been there before.
It's like, damn. Stupid Quinn.
And Quinn now level 9. And if you compare that to Kiyotaka, actually also level 9. So he's actually done a decent job of catching up in terms of the levels. And in fact, he's more farmed than Quinn. That's actually really surprising. I just looked away for a couple minutes, but he's definitely come back.
Yeah, SF does farm very well, but for the game and how they want to play, it's not looking too good. Quinn is being very annoying now. You don't have the best heroes at dealing with it, and he did actually end up going for a Blink Dagger. I want to see how Kiyotaka is going to end up using this one.
Yeah.
Like, how do we...
Just to farm faster, you know, blinking from camp to camp.
Get around, get those raises out. I mean, like, what's the combo? You can always, of course, look for some Black Hole or some Malefice into that, but...
Yeah, I mean, the Black Hole, until you get BKB, it's going to be hard because there's always a song.
You don't have the longest stuns to, like, really catch Quinn off guard in the game. Like, no one's really going to set you up with that, so it's more about perhaps for him to be more mobile, kind of dodge these ganks, but... I thought what 9Pandas want to play for in this game is like this mid-game, you get strong, you buff up your SF, you have all these auras, but it looks like they're going to take a slightly different approach.
It is quite a good BKB game, though. As Requiem coming out onto Quinn, I don't think it's going to be enough damage. 3 raises do hit, but he needed a +1, and Ramsey's just out of range.
Good old Flame Guard, absorbing a lot of that damage to keep him alive.
Quinn continuing to be a nuisance. Ramsey's, Omni Slash coming out. It's going to force out Quinn to use the sleight of fist, and now Ramses has to spin away.
Stolen
some
creep.
backup though. Centaur stomp onto Celery, and he's just going to drop.
Okay,
Arrows there with that helm of the Dominator.
To blink.
Kiyotaka showing it off. Going for another raise. Quinn trying to outrun him, but the raise is enough. The long-range Shadow Raise brings Quinn to the fountain. A 3-for-0. Looked like a very discombobulated fight to start, but 9Pandas, they know what they're doing apparently.
Yeah, there comes the Blink Dagger from Kiyotaka. All of this was initiated with Ramses Omni-slashing the Ember.
That's right.
Like, even how stupid all of that looks, it created this entire fight,
Right.
so very nicely done by them. As Quinn, at the end of getting out, I think he messed up his pony item. As Ace, he does get to walk it up, but look at Quinn here. Oh, messed it up, and Kiyotaka, bam,
boom,
takes him out.
All right, he's... that's a typical Quinn reaction. Nothing.
That's a little like hair flick,
crazy.
hand in the face. All good, bros. As respawn and into the next play.
Yeah, smoked up on the Meepo right now. Kiyotaka, he only has Antares next to him. He's going to help out with the telekinesis.
Nice
One raise hits onto Quinn, but he's going to get surrounded with the Earthbind and brought down to his knees. And Antares looks like he will follow suit in all likelihood. Blood Grenade going to slow him. And, well, is he actually going to live or he's ticking out? All right.
Cool kids don't look at explosions, Shannon.
Well, I don't know if you can look at the explosion that's on yourself.
Well, Tofu didn't look at it.
Okay, fair.
As the Pavis coming out soon from Solo.
Very interesting. All right, we got 3 Meepos now.
Nice. Soon we're going to flick him at Ramses.
That's right. Mega Meepo is a thing to behold, let's just say.
It's coming.
And what do you think about the... We did talk about Dig. Is that something that you buy? Like, I assume it is. It feels like it is almost a necessity at some point.
I mean, depending on which heroes you play against, it's got to be good, right? Especially, let's pretend you're getting Omni Slash. Seems pretty cool to just dig into the ground and chill.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening to you. I don't think it's like the one you focus on too early on, so you're gonna go for this Atos, Axe, maybe like 1-2 more items, like some blinks, some stats, and then you can go like for a shard on the in-between.
Are scanning.
And Gaimin with a 4K lead. I mean, I haven't looked at that in a while, but...
If there's one thing a lot of the heroes are good at, it's killing creeps, because they've got multiple units. As Quinn being...
That's true. It is 8 versus 5 right now.
True.
All right, does he have 3 or... No, never mind.
He's got 3.
Yeah, okay.
And Durantio has 3 more
versus
illusions.
5. Yeah.
And then Manta, so 5 more.
There we go.
So we're 15 versus 5. This is not okay, guys. They're cheating. Oh!
Blast off. Kiyotaka has to use his Requiem. Is going to fake it out. He's getting kind of pretty hard. Atos is there, and Ace wants to finish the job. They're going to be able to take out Tofu in tow, and it's going to be enough for Kiyotaka to actually get away. Quinn wanted to finish the job, but he's not going to get the kill he was looking for.
Oh, the Maledict!
Yeah, the Maledict doing quite a bit onto Quinn, along with the Death Ward. Solo dies, but he gets the kill onto Quinn eventually. And now Ace kind of left all alone. The Malefice onto this low Meepo, and there's the blink down from Kiyotaka. Durantio with the song. It's in range finally. We'll see if that's enough for Ace to actually get away. Looks like that is the case.
Ooh, kind of a sick fight. I think the Requiem must have clipped Quinn on the very back end, because it looked like he was ready to try and dodge it and get in there, but Kiyotaka gets to blink out. Solo comes in with the Maledict. But I like that Durantio is going for this Orchid here. I think that's going to create a lot of problems for all of these dire heroes, actually. Not just the Jug or canceling the Black Hole, but even the supports too. So here, I want to look at this Remnant that Quinn throws out here, where it looks like he wants to go to it to make sure he doesn't blink out, but must have gotten clipped by the Requiem. So Kiyotaka just kind of walks it up, and then Solo big boss on the Witch Doctor here.
That's right.
Easy kill.
And just wait till he gets that shard.
Oh, right. Yeah. It's going to kill everyone.
Well, Ace top net worth in the game. Not too far behind is Durantio on the Naga. And, I mean, the song has... A lot of times we don't see songs really used that early. Like, it doesn't seem... Like, it feels like it's either amazing or just completely useless in these games. But in this game in particular, it just seems... Especially with Meepo having these multiple units where it's all about protecting the one that's low. Definitely been clutch so far in this game.
Songs so far have been definitely very good. As something else I could think about soon as hold that Ramses here gonna be forced to spin, so they're just gonna force him back as they're just holding their ward. I think Roche might be on the menu pretty soon for Gaimin. I mean, look at your heroes. You have minus armor, you have 18 Nagas, you have 8 billion Meepo, so it should be quite easy as soon as they want to look at that.
Middle tower is under attack. Gotcha.
Let's see. Is
Radiant's middle tower.
Miro is going for the Blink Dagger next, and then the BKB. And at that point, they have nothing that will cancel it, unless they get a Basher or something.
I have seen ranged hero bashes before.
Yeah.
Save Caudle somehow, so maybe we'll see something.
That was pretty epic. I think he was hitting creeps before that to get the RNG, right?
Yeah, he's the Prime Lord.
Pseudo RNG.
So Q-Taka is actually just going for the straight up Blink Hex build. Very interesting. So Ramses is going to be the big dog in this game with the Fury into all the big items. Miro is going to try to buff him up a little bit with the Helm of Overlord.
Very interesting. It's very close to the build with the Arcane Blink of old, without the Arcane Blink of old.
Yep. With the Blink of new.
They're going to find Tofu in solo. Not able to get the Maledict on him, so he will be able to pick himself away.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, they don't quite dare to de-ward up there, as they're not sure where Gaimin are, but they're actually just taking Roshan for themselves. In the meantime, 9Pandas going to farm up the map, end up taking the mid-tier 1 tower. Looks like Ace is making a slot, so he's going to take that one, and yeah, it's starting to be a scary Meepo.
Yeah, one of the best Aegis carriers in the game, and okay, this is maybe a dumb question, because they did change this a long time ago. The Aegis carrier, that's where it spawns every time?
That's where you respawn, yeah.
It's not the one that dies.
I'm pretty sure
right?
that...
Because it used to be the opposite, and then they fixed it to be what I think is this. It's one or the other, though. You know?
Pretty sure that one that holds,
I think so too.
You will respawn with wherever he is.
Right.
This Ramses has to get this Manta style against all the nets, the orchids, the stuns coming out. The Rachu, a very nasty neutral item combo when you get Dragon Scale on Naga. As soon as you just put one illusion on some tower, more than 100 damage. Cute. Yeah, this Hex is still very interesting. I want to see how he's going to be able to put it to use later. Maybe just have an answer against Quinn, who's the split push annoyance spirit master nerd.
That's one way to put it. Oh, okay, telekinesis. We have the Atos coming in from Ace, though, and Darius does get the surprising kill before he drops.
I mean, this guy is the best techies in the world. Doesn't matter if he's not even playing it.
He knows all the interactions.
Is under attack.
And Miro very close to that Blink Dagger, but it's going to be hard to get a good black hole without the BKB.
Yeah, he's gonna need items. It's just hard for him to currently do much. Like when you have this Helm of Overlord, you want to try to play more around other cores. As he's chasing Ace right now, I'm gonna whip him real quick. Little boy.
Yep, Atos onto the Black Dragon. Not gonna follow it up though. You can see the BKB getting ever so close for Quinn. Ramses, he's gonna be spotted. He's gonna get netted.
Gonna walk it off.
They do have a lot of nets in this game, don't they? The Snare and the Earthbind.
Netception.
Neither of which go through BKB. Although I think the Naga Ags allows you to do that, right?
It does. I mean,
wow, look at this discrepancy. That's surprising. I mean, I guess there is a Meepo. I don't know if he's been picking up the runes, but...
It's also just map control, right? When you lose some of these towers, I feel like it's hard for Pandas to actually reach into the jungles. They're more farming the outer circles as Ramses with his Manta.
Yeah, he just really wanted that one creep.
He did. As Ace is going somewhere else already.
Yeah,
solo.
the poofs are coming out onto solo. He gets a nice Maledict. Pavis as well, but the Atos holds him in place, and he will die. And it just feels like the longer this game is going, Gaimin have been extending their lead, despite not having many fights even. It's just farm.
Yeah, they're just more efficient on the map with more map control. The bounty runes as well, as we've seen. I mean, when you have 20 billion units that you don't need to commit anywhere, you're naturally going to get more farm. Soon 9Pandas, they're gonna look. They need to look to strike back soon. Kiyotaka though, he's got the Hex. This has to be a big timing for them. Also the Blink onto Miro on the Enigma, so some very big item timings here.
8 minutes faster because nobody ever goes second item Sheepstick on
Very
Shadow
cool.
Team.
I'm surprised it's not even more. Oh, that's the Rachi here.
Oh, there's the Hex. Do they have the follow? Miro's on the high ground, looking for the Midnight Pulse. He's actually going to expend the black hole, and that ends up being a very important kill. That is not the Aegis carrier, of course. It is on Ace, and he's not afraid to go in, knowing that the black hole is down.
Good net.
Net onto 3 heroes. Mega Meepo available.
Fling him,
Can he do the damage here? He's getting pretty kited. The Malefice doing a good job. All the Meepos onto 1 means you share the Malefice, and Ramsey's just going to be able to TP out with the spin. So 9Pandas is able to put a dent essentially into the timer of this Aegis.
Dire's middle tower.
They got out without losing anyone. I'm happy, you know, just pop the black hole there, take the Rachi out of the game pretty good as Ace tries to get some counter kills. Does show off the Mega Meepo, which puts him up to 4,000 HP when they were all together.
Yep, perfectly normal. That Midnight Pulse is do a lot of damage to him, that's for sure.
It sure does. It is, yeah, it's sadly magic damage nowadays.
That's true.
Which Meepo has some built-in resistance, luckily for him.
Yeah, I think, his ult actually gives him magic resistance in it. Yeah.
It's 10, 15, 20. So that does help. And he has the Pupil's Gift, not to forget, of course.
Yeah, very important.
Oh, hello
jump
there.
in. Hello, Ace. Finding solo, but a nice Maledict is there. I think they're actually going to get this Aegis. He turns it to the Mega Meepo. Is that going to save him? No.
Mega Meepo more like
Aegis
Mega Dead.
down. And with the Healing Ward and the Voodoo
Ooh,
Restoration.
Duracho.
Yes.
Nearly done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good call, good call.
You're welcome.
Oh,
Stolen mirror image. Very nice.
I thought it was a song there for a second.
I saw it on you. Triple block grenade on Celery this time around.
Oh, very.
Learning
very
from
cool.
his old man counterpart.
That's right. I mean, 9Pandas,
they're cooking.
Yeah, they get rid of the Aegis. They killed Duracho a little bit earlier. So it hasn't been getting worse.
Shadow, so attack speed into then the magic talent. Looks like we have some deviation going on. As Gaimin gonna go for a quick 3-man smoke. Win with a DD rune by nature of having all this map control and controlling mid area. He will always get all the runes. Ramsey's looking for a butterfly. Okay, gonna make himself stronger. I mean, evasion, this you can't ask for a better butterfly game. I'm pretty sure. Meepo, Naga Siren.
Yep, that's true.
Duracho's gonna get one of his own.
Will these teams take a Tormentor at any point? There's going to be a smoke from 9Pandas. Tofu is not who they want, although they don't even have vision to see that he was there.
Good
Quinn
ward.
popping it, and Ramses is spotted.
Well, Chuck doesn't really care too much, so Quinn trying to be annoying, but with the healing ward around.
Oh, the sheepstick from Kiyotaka onto Celery. Requiem's coming out, but Quinn pops the BKB, so he's going to rethink that. But he gets silenced, and now the impetus doing so much damage.
The net.
Duracho, oh my goodness, Kiyotaka melts. Solo's next on the list. Atos from afar. There's the mirror image.
The stolen chains.
Not going to do too much. That's 3 dead for 9Pandas, and not even that much needed from Gaimin.
I think Gaimin just picking up a little donation. Kiyotaka going in a little too deep, really wants to make use of his Hex, but in enemy territory and this deep with a very nice Hurricane Pike here from Celery, just gets all the stuff off. Good Orchid, and now we just get Netception coming out here. Here, double Root, you get the Naga Root, everyone's rooted. And then a 3rd kill with the Atos, another Root.
Oh, Meepo, Mr. Ace is going to steal the Tormentor as well. Ramses spotted it out. He was actually thinking about taking himself, but we'll see Tofu with the shard now. So a nice steal from Gaimin.
Black hole.
The arrow black hole! Do they have enough of the Omni Slash to follow Kiyotaka?
Oh, sure they do!
And the Requiem! Oh my god! That was disgusting! Oh! My seat is wet after that one. Holy jeez!
That's what we call a holy base right there from Miero. Gets himself a 3-man hole with an Omni Slash. He even dealt the most damage. I mean, Midnight Pulls on 18 units. That will do.
All right, we need to see this again. Oh my goodness.
He even scouted it himself with the big black dragon. He drops the fire to Midnight Pulls. Oh, the Requiem.
Omni Slash with the cleave and Requiem.
That looks good. Into the tip. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're back in the game, baby.
They need a lot more of that.
Two more.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. It's going to be a bit difficult to get.
Dire's top tower.
Well, he's got Black Hole next time around. I don't see any cancels, Shannon.
That's true. Well, BKB
Radiant's
is not
bottom
far
tower
away.
is under attack.
Yeah, he's got it flying out.
Orchid. Solo's dead.
Dead.
You have died.
Oh, tried real hard to stay alive, but
Good attempt.
A little too hard.
I mean, do you think they have enough outside of like this big wombo combo to kill a Naga Siren? Like,
without the black hole?
Yeah, without black hole.
I mean, if they catch him with the Hex into Requiem and everyone is there, they can still kill him. So it's not like you always need the black hole. But for a 5-on-5 engagement, yeah, you certainly need Miero with a black hole available. But honestly, their scaling is good. This is not a bad Jug game. Like, you drop the healing ward, you have Spin, which is very good. He has the Fury to cut through all the Meepos and the illusions. And I mean, if you Mega Meepo, I don't think Enigma cares about that. Midnight Pulse is going to shred through you. You have pure damage from the black hole as well.
Yep. Makes Omni Slash better.
It does indeed. Dyrachyo wants to steal the rune. Or maybe kill Solo again.
Yeah, another repeat. Not going to happen.
I like this. Solo did this earlier today. He queues up the Crimson Guard. He did get it on Witch Doctor earlier today, and
it is a good Crimson game.
Crimson Guard game, my bro.
Yeah, you don't really have another hero that would want to go for it, so might as well force it onto a support.
Yeah.
More important things for the Enigma, as always.
Quinn very focused, telling his team what needs to happen right now, as Kiyotaga's going to get himself his own BKB, so he's going to have pretty good Requiems too. You know, like, they can set up each other. He can try to go in first, maybe with the Blink, Hex, BKB, Requiem, try to help his Enigma play a slower fight as Dyrachyo.
Yeah, Techie's mines are going to be pretty damn annoying to get through, though, as Quinn coming in with the Searing Chains. Healing Ward is placed. Force Staff, I'm not sure whose that was, but
I think that's
in enemy territory at this point. Telekinesis save.
Antari's just doing a little bit of trolling. It's okay.
Kiyotaka will have to walk back to the fountain, so a little bit of delay here, but yeah, Sheepstick now on Ace.
Well, with all the sustain, so the way that gaming heroes like to play, Ember and Nagas, they want to poke a lot. But when you play into Healing Ward and Maledicts and Witch Doctor heal, that doesn't really work. So in order for gaming to take a fight, they're going to have to look for a bigger committal, and that's why Ace also has a Hex. So that should help them with that if they just find a good angle. Because even though 9Pandas are down 11k gold, it doesn't really feel that way.
It does to me.
Does it?
The one thing that's gone well for them is that one team, like the one black hole.
Oh. Roche will die before it will move into the Radiant side.
Yeah, oh, 5 seconds away. 5 seconds away. Oh. So close yet so far.
Ages onto Ace.
Yes, and cheese
Aces
for Mr. Quinn.
And
9Pandas kind of, yeah, being a bit unlucky here.
Yeah, just unlucky.
Shivas will be next for Kiyotaka. I would love to see the Arcane Blink, even though it makes no sense anymore, but...
Yeah, please do it.
Maybe he just forgot. That was...
Oh, yeah, he... This...
I mean, what do you think... Okay, so far, 30 minutes in, do you like this build? Or is it better to just go the physical?
No, I'm kind of down for like the way he adapted in this game as Tofu. He knows someone is there.
Ace, he's not afraid. He gets sheeped onto Kiyotaka. Kind of all alone, but Miero comes in with the black hole out of nowhere, and that's going to be the death of Techies, and the Aegis gone. But now they're going to BKB TP.
Just TP out, lol.
And now they just have to wait for the next black hole.
Oh, that was pretty good. I think they're going to take that.
That was good.
I mean, Gaimin will try to push forward, of course, as the black hole is down, but I don't think 9Pandas like poke and deep push is... It's not that bad.
Dyrachyo's getting pretty huge, though.
He sure is, as Kiyotaka, he's just baiting. Here comes Miero, getting his...
Quinn was fortunate not to be caught in that as well.
Yeah, because he will just die, straight up. You don't live through this build. As I mean, Kiyotaka, maybe another thing about this build is that he can kind of go in for his team. Let's hold that for a bit. They're going to need some Midnight Pulses, drop that stuff over there, try to delay the push.
Yeah, how much can Gaimin Gladiators get out of the fact that they know that black hole is down? Ace, of course, along with the Naga, can really push fast. And silence onto Solo. To delay this as Ace is going to go in for the assassination, and they get him. Sleight of Fist takes him out, but he doesn't have the buyback available. He's the one that has to be careful because he just dies straight up. Mega Meepo activated. Do they have the damage, though? The Omni Slash bouncing all over the place, and now the song to get the hell out from Dyrachyo and Ace. Although Dyrachyo, he's kind of left to his own devices. Do they have the damage to take him now?
Stolen Song
he is completely surrounded. Song, like you said, is available if needed. Dyrachyo, they actually use the song just to make sure they can find the real one, and they do. So this ends up being a big hold for 9Pandas. As Quinn, I feel like, went just a little too deep, got caught off guard.
I think he had a Remnant and Cheese available, but yeah, I think he just
Did he
died
get
too
sheeped
fast.
or something like that?
Maybe just too fast, or like too much minus armor with the damage. Let's see. So he goes in, gets the kill. He kills the healing ward.
He's just taking damage.
And then he just died.
It's just damage. Wow.
When you take damage, you do die.
Yeah, lots of damage. Big number damage.
That was a good song, but Durancio didn't get... Maybe his TP was on cooldown? Maybe he just didn't get the memo. But good stolen song. Gonna get the kill here on Durancio as well.
All right, 9Pandas showing some life. And that,
strong.
That 20 talent for Ramses, that means he's online officially.
Yeah, no matter what items you got, once you get that.
The healing on Blade Dance.
He's got the MJ on Jug as well with the butterfly.
Just needs Aghanims and Shard.
He'll get there. I mean, if you take the Blade Fury talent,
did you misclick in those 13% of the time?
I think so.
They don't understand that it's bugged / featured.
But I like Blade Fury, Shannon.
I like spinning.
Spin to win.
Oh, Octarine core now.
I mean, Miero is...
Miero.
He's getting fast. 307. That's a good Enigma game. Second in the network from his team. And, I mean, you can tell. They're just smoking down mid and Gaimin. They're not having any of that as Celery. Better keep running away, little pony man. Has his own BKB.
That is not a pony, but
whatever.
We'll go
It
with
would be a pony in my head.
It's more like a deer.
Sure. He's an animal. Walk away, animal.
Don't use that one in your pubs. I would say very disrespectful.
Very disrespectful. I'm sure none of these players in this game would ever use
No. We've never seen
terminology.
That before. Of course not. Especially not this young man I'm watching.
Oh, there's... Yeah, I guess... See, it's 9k gold lead, but only 52% win probability.
Yeah, no, it's looking better now. It's looking better now. Miero, like you said, has the Octarine in. Once he gets Refresher, I think that is when Gaimin will have a difficult time in these fights.
Requiem Fear per line.
Okay.
He's going to line him up.
7% pick rate, but I mean, that makes sense because nobody's playing
this build,
this magic damage build.
But this is why you need the Zoomers on the block to be in your team.
That's right.
You need the 7%, the ones that play 18 billion pubs a day. And they figure out, yeah, you know, in this game, I don't want to be right-click Shadow Fiend.
Yeah. He's got the Shivas now, excellent against the likes of Naga and Meepo. And then if he gets Refresher, I mean, the Wombo combo from 9Pandas becomes, it's not even one of those things, if they find the right angle, like there's a good chance that they will just find something. I mean, they have two chances.
When they have Refresher on SF and Enigma, Ramses can go AFK. His team will carry him if they just get the correct spell usage off. They're literally going to be that strong. So Gaimin, even though you have a big lead, gonna have to make sure they keep their head in the game and stay focused, talk about what exactly they need to have happen. Getting a Skadi soon on Ace, who's trying to also work on to his 25 talent later, where you can apparently get the pack wrap.
Oh yeah. Have we even seen that before?
I have not. Sounds funny though.
It does sound cool. It's a cool mechanic, but I haven't seen it yet, and I hope we do see it. Like, I don't even know what would be good. Pupils. I mean, at that point, you're getting tier 4 items, right? And all your meepos will get that neutral. Is that how I understand it?
Yeah, I thought you can put one of your own items in the neutral slot.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Okay. I mean, that's kind of cool.
Either way, you're probably seeing that. I think this game is going to stall for a while. It's going to have 7 items on Meepo.
Celery can now grab some more creeps and has that other thing attached to it that I don't even remember what it does because it's not even remotely interesting. Little friends.
Little friends. Make all of them like just gang up.
Yeah.
Like a little ghetto party.
He's going to go for Aghanim Scepter, it looks like. Wow.
He wants that sprawling. I mean, I don't blame him. I think his teammates...
You're looking for Freddy? He disappeared.
What's supposed to be there, Fred?
They're getting ready for the Freddy.
I mean, this is going to be a Freddy game for sure. I think we're in for the long haul.
Yeah,
here,
I think
Shannon.
this is going to be a late one. We're going to name all the creatures on the map at the end of this tournament.
Because like, Gaimin's heroes, they're going to be very tanky. I mean, maybe you also even just take the 1 clone talent on Meepo, so Ace can have more than 10,000 HP in this game.
Yeah, the Mega Meepo becomes stronger, of course.
Yeah. Because all these heroes are going to be very tanky, but I think Celery is understanding that, okay, boys, I need to, as we usually see from some silencers or enchantresses, 60 minutes into the game, You need to start slapping the enemies, because your other bros, they're gonna fall off.
Yeah, Ramses has the Aghanim, so Swift Slash is available. And I think he was opting for the Shard next. In fact, it might even be delivering now. He does not have buyback right now. That's a bit risky.
He's got trust in his team. Honestly, if they go on him with the butterfly, he doesn't die that fast. They're just going to set up Miro for a good black hole. So if you're Gaimin, you have to team fight very nicely. Like maybe you even have to go for some stuff later where you fight one half and you try to like song the Enigma in the back line so he can come in, or you just try to get on the back line. How's Quinn doing it? Yeah, he's working on an Axe. So this is definitely going to be one of the timings for him as well. With the Shard and the Axe, you can always try to just cancel the Enigma's blink in the back line, or even just go on the supports. Because I don't know why this still works, but when you pop the Remnant somewhere, it instantly deals damage with the Shard. It doesn't have to arrive at the spot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you just insta-cancel blinks.
Huh.
Yeah, which is very good against the Dire Draft.
That's a cool feature.
Yes, I love that.
Quote-unquote feature.
Very strong.
Kiyotaka getting pretty close to the refresher, but we'll see if he opts to save for the old buyback.
I mean, this is how good this neutral item is on Naga, where Dyrachyo just puts in the Dragon Scale whenever he pops illusions, because he just cleared some random tower. I don't even know which one it was. As their mid-tier 3 is at 18 HP, top tier 3 just died to it.
That is some interesting tech. That's like AUI type stuff right there.
Yeah, it's some nerdy stuff. And if you're at this tournament, you're good and a nerd.
Shivas into the sheep. Kiyotaka gonna get off the Requiem. No, he gets silenced with the BKB coming out.
Okay.
The song is
Miro
there.
BKB'd.
Yeah, Miro BKBs as well. Dyrachyo, his song is gonna run out very shortly, and he is completely surrounded. No getaway for him.
No ghetto.
And Ramses will Swift Slash to victory.
They also stole Song. Like, stolen Song with the Shard on Rubik at this point in the game is very big. Like, let's pretend
that's
Gaimin...
even more sustained.
Yeah, let's say, like, Gaimin go for some jump in with a Hex. You just Song, you return it. You just stall the entire fight. You're gonna set up even the black hole.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the counter. The counter to Gaimin Gladiators. The Song into the black hole.
Yeah. That is definitely a thing.
Oh, Jim and John.
Roche is up in 30 seconds, at which point it will be daytime, so I don't know.
It's time to go back bottom.
They're going to have to go back through the gate here. I mean, they have good control at the bottom side of the map, although there are a couple techies mines in the area. Tofu, I think he's spotted. Gets off the blast off, and Terry's just going to walk away. Mine's now destroyed. This is going to turn into good old-fashioned Roche off button. The Hex onto Quinn. Do they have more control? No, he remnants away, and Tofu able to walk away. And Ramsey spins. Into the Roche pit they go, and Roche just spawns. And this is the Aghanim Scepter Roche. So Jug already has his. I mean, you're giving it to Shadow Fiend for sure.
Nah, I would give it to Miro. I would tell my team I'm going to suck them all into my black hole. Whatever. And he just insta-8'd, dude. Like, no discussion, bro.
Yeah, of course not.
This is mine.
It's a Shadow Fiend, you know?
I mean, it's good.
I mean, even more sustain, right? Wait, did they change this? It increases max souls of Necromastery as well.
You still heal on the return.
Okay.
It's good. They're both great. I don't know if they can do much wrong, depending on, you know, who you give it to. But I think Miro later as well. I mean, I wouldn't mind sucking in some more meeples or some Nagas. Either way, happy with that. Get the Aegis, get the cheese.
I mean, at this rate, Miro's going to be able to afford anything he wants anyway. Actually, he goes for Boots of Travel before finishing the refresher. Interesting.
I'm kind of down for that. I think you help your team like push out the waves, because at this point, you're playing against Ents, you're playing against Naga. They're just going to try to make it annoying. Ramses does pick up his 25.
Have you ever seen the Healing Ward talent before?
No.
I don't think I've seen it either.
That's also a misclick. Like, if you take Blade Fury...
17%. With
more people
higher
take that
win
than
rate.
the Blade Fury. I mean, because if you take that, like, you're probably ruffle stomping the game.
Yeah, maybe.
Because then it's like, I don't need Almond Slash.
Ramsey's able to clean up these illusions very nicely between the Mjolnir and his Swift Slash. Can make quick work of them. Kiyotaka, hunting. Naga is who he wants. He's spotted though. Shivas is gonna get some vision. There's the sheep stick to follow. Malefice as well.
Blast him.
And into the black hole. Dyrachyo. Well, he will eventually go. My goodness, this takes a long time. Despite how farm 9Pandas are, that took a long ass time. And there's a refresher now for Kiyotaka.
He still got the double. He's a patient young man, not dropping the Requiem there, just gonna go straight into the high ground. You've got the healing ward, because Antares is still holding on to the stolen song, mind you. So
how long does he have it for? It's running out relatively soon.
He's still got like 30-ish seconds. You have like 5 minutes.
The blink in. Kiyotaka with the Omni Slash, or maybe Swift by Solar, he's dead just like that. Song of the Siren. Is that the stolen?
Yep.
Looks like it. Kiyotaka probably going to reset, knowing that this buyback came out from Dyrachyo. Telekinesis save as well. Ramsey's kind of stuck here, and there's the song from Dyrachyo now. Trying to set something up. Remnants are there.
No,
they have the damage. Instant sheep onto Dyrachyo. Requiem to follow. That's a dieback onto the Naga Siren.
Oh my goodness.
And just like that, it's a 5 versus 3 with still having the Aegis, and looks like Quinn dies as well to the Swift Slash. And Ramsey's still holding on to the Omni after all of this, and they know that these diebacks are there, so they're just going to go for the win right here, right now. Celery buys back. This building damage, I mean, it is a magic damage Kiyotaka build. As Blast Off coming in very nicely done, but the Omni Smash onto Ace, into the Blast Off, so much damage. Down goes Meepo, buys back instantly. Solo just barely living. Looks like that's gonna be one down tier 4. Quinn has buyback now, will expend it. Both tier 4s will be taken out. Remnanting in, Quinn trying to control it. There's the Hex onto the Shadow Fiend. Ace trying to do as much as he can. But he's getting controlled, and he's getting right down by Ramses. The Mega Meepo comes out to save him. And the Death Ward is there onto Quinn. He gets taken out by the Shadow Fiend again. And that should do it. That's a dieback onto Quinn, a dieback onto Dyrachyo.
No creeps?
That's true.
No creeps, brothers?
They have to wait. This is a bit awkward. All they have is technically the 2 tier 4s and a melee Rax in the top lane.
Okay, creeps are coming, slowly but surely, as is...
Their building damage is not that crazy because Shadow Fiend is not the right clicker that we're used to seeing, but Ace trying to get everything on the Kiyotaka, but the big Requiem is there with the Shadow Raises to follow. Ramses trying to take out a Meepo here, gets the spin off, and that's going to be, he gets the dig. Okay, Ace staying alive ever so slowly, but he's the last remaining member of Gaimin, and this is a 2-0 for 9Pandas, their first actual victory. The first time Ramses has beaten Quinn is because he didn't tip the entire series.
He tipped him at the very end.
Oh, shit.
Right before. But he knew this time to wait properly until you're hitting the throne. I mean, you can just never count out a lineup with an Enigma. There was this one sick play from Miro. He scouted himself, gets a 3-man black hole. They just turn it around. And yeah, I think eventually Gaimin's draft, there's some overlap if they're not far ahead. And 9Pandas strike back a 2-0.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, Kezu. I did not believe in the Shadow Fiend build, and
I wasn't sure, but
I was horribly wrong, and I'm really glad to see it because that means Shadow Fiend can be picked more. But despite not having the old Arcane Blink, builds the exact same way, and it's apparently very good.
I mean, they just have a big wombo combo later, right? You have the Black Hole, you have the Requiem into like a lot of these units with the illusions and many Meepo staying around. You've got the Battle Fury on Ramses as well. Just, you know, standing strong, holding onto the game and knowing which timings they kind of have to play for. I think Gaming were in a very good spot in this game, but perhaps eventually it's a little awkward for them, but yeah.
Yeah, so with this, they are now, I believe, tied. Is that correct? I think, yeah, Gaimin were 6-4, and 9Pandas were 4-6, so now they're just tied.
Yep.
So that is a big deal because 9Pandas was right on the threshold of being on the elimination side of the group stage, and now they've catapulted themselves. So, what's that production, sorry? Very good. We're going to have an interview in just a few seconds with...
A few seconds?
Yeah, a few seconds with Tsunami. Take it away. Yeah. Solo.
Thank you very much. I'm standing by with Solo of 9Pandas. You guys have finally been able to conquer Gaimin Gladiators after so many matchups, and what a way to do it, man. What a series that was. Both games nail-biters to watch. For game number 2, let's start out with Miro. What was the target priority for him? Like, what did he feel like, I have to black hole to win this game?
Well, Meepo was a problem, so I think Miro was focused on Meepo, and he had really nice black hole on our Tormentor. That was a huge comeback for us. So Matvey played very good, and we made a comeback.
زي ما تشوفون أعزائنا المشاهدين معنا سولو من فريق 9 بانداز من أجمل الأيام اللي شاهدناها وأخيرا شاهدنا 9 بانداز يقدرون أنهم يأخذون الفوز على فريق جيمنج جلاديترز مع أن عارفين احنا الهيستوري اللي بينهم دائما جيمنج جلاديترز هو اللي يفوز. السؤال الأول اللي سألناه في المقابلة أنه كيف قدرتوا أنكم تأخذون الفوز خصوصا أن البرايورتي حق ميريو وشلون بيقدر أنه يأخذ البرايورتي في كل تيم فايت يسوونه. كان الجواب أنه هو عارفين أنهم بيصير مشكلة لهم وخصوصا مع البلاك هول حقته بيقدر أنه يعرف متى يستعملها وكيف يستعملها بالضبط، لكن كان تركيزه على انه ياخذ على الاوبجكتيف او ياخذ الاوبجكتيف على الشخص اللي يكون الاعلى برايورتي للفريق الخصم، وبكن خلال البلاي هذه يقدروا ياخذون الجيم بالكامل.
And now let me take you back to game number 1, where it was another very intense finish. When they were defending and Dragon Knight was just hovering over the throne, did you guys ever think like we might not be able to win this, or were you like, all right, get it over with, just type GG, let's get on with it?
No, the game was hard. We made it hard because of our mistakes, but they made even bigger mistake. They let me play Undying, so that's it.
ايضا سالنا سولو في هذه المقابله عن موضوع انه في نهايه الجيم الثاني شفناكم تسوون هضر على الثرون، ما ندري اذا هل بيكون عندكم فرصه انك تخلصون الجيم ولا لا، فهل كانت الكوميونيكيشن بينكم انه خلصوا الجيم على طول خلاص احنا الفايزين، ولا كان في شيء ثاني ببالكم؟ قال لا، انه بالعكس ان احنا قلنا عارفين انه بنخلص الجيم، واصلا كان غلطتهم الاكبر انه خلوني انا العب في الجيم.
And I haven't gotten to pick your brain too much about the structure of your team, but I'm wondering, how do you and No Fear split the responsibilities between like replay analysis, drafting? What's the priority there?
We just do our best, like any Dota aspect, drafts or analysis, all stuff we do together. We just do our best, all of us.
They're both like a 50-50 split between you two?
Yes, something like this. But Ramses is doing a lot for now. He's drafting at our team at this tournament, so yeah.
سألنا سولو أيضاً أحد الأسئلة اللي معنا في المقابلة، تكلم عن كيف هم يقدرون يقسمون المهام لتدريب الفريق وتجهيزهم لكل مباراة هم يحضرونها. كان الجواب إنه حالياً هو رامزي أكثر واحد يركز على الدرافت، والبقية تكون سبلت ما بين كل الناس اللي ممكن يكون عندهم خبرة أكثر، ودائماً نشوف استراتيجيات حقتهم تتقسم بينهم، كل واحد منهم يأخذ الشيء اللي هو كويس فيه أكثر.
And now I finally maybe get a different answer out of you, because everyone I'm talking to, who do they want to face off in this tournament? They say Gaimin Gladiators. You just beat them. So now, who's remaining left in this tournament that you would like to play or maybe even rematch?
Well, I hope we'll make into playoffs and beat Gaimin Gladiators again.
You want the best of 5 against them?
Yeah, of course.
آخر سؤال سألنا سولو في هذه المقابلة، نتكلم عن مين الفريق اللي هو يحاب إنه يواجهه، خصوصاً إنه كل الفرق الثانية دائماً يقولون نبغى نواجه جيمنج جلاديترز، لكن هالمرة هذه هل عندك جواب مختلف؟ لكن كان الإجابة بكل بساطة إنه لا، أنا أبغى أسوي ريماتش مع جيمنج جلاديترز، وأبغاها تكون أنا وياهم في البلاي أوفز، وحتى لو كانت بس 5 بيكون أفضل.
Thank you very much, Solo. Appreciate your time, and congratulations on this 2-0 win. And before we send it back to the studio, can I get a quick vocab lesson, Fancy?
Yeah, sure. Okay, I got you. So basically, as I mentioned before, this means luck. Okay. So the way to pronounce this is saying hav.
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 There you go. You kind of got it. Okay. So the other one is strength, which means, it's basically قوة, and it means strength.
قوة.
No, it's قوة.
قوة.
No, with the letter qa.
I don't know that letter.
I don't think you can do it, but yeah, it's strength and luck, and this is exactly what they got, and this is how they beat Gaimin Gladiators, in my opinion.
Perfect. Well, that's it from us. Send it back to the studio.
يعطيكم العافية. على طول على استوديو تحليلي نتكلم أكثر.
Goahaf probably butchered that pronunciation, but nonetheless, they butchered Gaimin Gladiators. 9 Pandas getting a 2-0 win, making this bracket much more interesting for Group A. And honestly, the more important part here, Purge, Ramses finally gets the W over Quinn in a LAN environment, no less.
Yeah, that's good. Good for him. He had a rough early game as well at the start, and it was just Gaimin Gladiators in the lead most of the game.
I like how he waited until the last end just to make sure, we're not going to throw the game, nothing's going to happen. Then he goes with the tip. Yeah,
there we go. Definitely learned his lesson from the previous series, tipping a bit too early here, but he knew he was going to get the win in the end, and then he threw in the tip there. And really good, well played by them in general. 9 Pandas here getting a 2-0. Pretty much no one would expect it. Maybe I could have saw a draw because Gaimin Gladiators have been drawing, but I think this is their first 2-0 loss, right?
Yes,
so
indeed.
that's a big feat indeed, and I had all eyes on Kiyotaka, and I trusted in him to do well. Early game, I was a little worried for him, I'm not gonna lie. Things aren't going super well. The supports were ganking him, wasn't looking good, but he had an innovative build, Blink into Hex. Don't see that very often, but it paid out. It bought the space on the map, so his Shadow Fiend was a pleasant surprise.
A very pleasant surprise indeed for all of us, especially for fans of Eastern European Dota. This win gets them into a 6-6 position, pretty much tied up with Gaimin Gladiators. Just going back to the game very quickly here, Purge, one thing that I found very intriguing is that we yet again saw a situation with this Naga Siren looking very dominant for a large portion of the map. But after like 35, 40 minutes, she just really seems to struggle to close out these games, even with an advantage.
Yeah, I'm kind of losing faith in her late game, honestly. It feels like she's often banned in second phase as a solution to some offlane hero. Like, she mirror images and she dodges and she jungles. But even games where she's ahead, it just doesn't ever feel like she has that much offensive impact other than like split pushing side lanes and being able to song defensively, maybe. So, I don't know. I'm definitely losing a lot of faith in her.
Well, unfortunately, if you are a believer in the Naga Siren, you're not going to be very happy about her performance thus far here. But she's not the key hero that I think we should be focusing on in this particular game. Purge, and again, I believe you had a quick clip for us to roll through to talk about.
Quick clip?
Well, it's not a quick one, but an important one for this game.
Yeah, I thought Meepo was pretty incredible this game. Ace played it. He was a Meepo specialist before Meepo even became good. This is level 4, 6 minutes into the game. He's 1v1 versus Ramsey. Look at this body blocking. He's attacking while body blocking. Most players don't bother to do this. They just focus entirely on body blocking. He got a solo kill on Ramsey. He's like, it's incredible at level 4. Very, very well done by him. So what happens after this is he's then going to put the fear into Ramses again, forcing him to spin defensively, basically just saying like, this is my lane now. Ramses does a small pull because he's like, okay, clearly laning against the Meepo isn't a good thing. And with his other one, he's like, getting ready to gank, sends it all the way to the bot lane. This was that setup fight against the Enigma that almost produced a kill on Miero, but ultimately didn't. But in the meantime, his other Meepo is pulling a large camp into the creep wave. He's getting 2 things done at once, which is the value of having 2 heroes. So yeah, this fight actually results in 0 kills, so we'll just skip ahead briefly. And then what he does immediately afterwards, he goes back to farming because he's always doing something on this hero. Keep in mind, he's top net worth. He's normally top net worth on these like offlane type heroes, but Meepo's certainly more of a carry potential hero, and that's really the benefit that you're getting out of it. He left the second Meepo down there on the right side. He's just sitting over here in the trees just in case something happens and he needs to be there to team fight. So he's putting pressure on the map offensively and potentially farming. He spots 2 heroes, says like, okay, they're pushing this tower obviously. So he instead goes top to keep collecting net worth, which he does very effectively. They're cutting creep waves so that he can pressure without having to worry about putting himself or his teammates in danger. They ultimately take that tower, and as soon as he gets Atos, he sends one guy to the mid lane and he's ready to team fight. This fight didn't go very good for Gaimin Gladiators, but if it looked really good and he was ready to jump in, he would do that. And of course, the other Meepo's still farming. So this is why he's top net worth, while still participating in almost all of these skirmishes. So I just thought it was really, really impressive, and that's part of the reason they were really far ahead for a lot of the game.
That's also the reason why people rely on this Meepo for Ace for so long. Even before he joined Gaimin Gladiators, he was renowned as a Meepo specialist. Regrettably, wasn't able to eke out a victory here, and one of the reasons why is because of this STC play that we're about to witness right now. And in this situation, this Meepo incredibly highly farmed. The entire team is just looking like they're in a great position. However, this Miero Enigma Lacoste, my goodness, man was super patient this game.
Absolutely. I mean, his positioning is top tier, not just about this one, but also throughout the whole game. He did not die a single time, and instant tips coming out from his teammates for a good reason. I love the item build as well, going for this Helm of the Overlord, and it was mostly Ancient Black Dragon, so he got a lot of farm, and also realizes at one point, I need to scale. Like, I need to be the one being actually scaling into the late game, going for this Blink, BKB, Octarine core, and some of these black holes were amazing. Catch multiple heroes, like that one play where they like black hole 3 people plus Meepo, that's like 5-6 man black hole, and they all TP out without dying on a single hero, just getting the Aegis off, getting 1 extra kill. Chef's kiss. Just some really, really good stuff coming out from Miero.
Very good stuff coming out from Miero, but also an impressive performance here from the Juggernaut of Ramses. When we saw it being picked up, Lacoste was mentioning how good this guy is on this hero. As a carry player yourself, what did you make of his performance here, in particular his itemization?
I think for him, he did a good job coming back into the game, as we saw through Purge's clips. He didn't have a good laning stage. It was a very difficult laning stage. So he found the resilience to just take the farm he can. He always played in their face, knowing that they kind of have too many eggs in one basket on Gaimin Gladiators. They had the roots from the Ember, they have the root from the Naga, they have the root from the Meepo, but none of those matter for Juggernaut. So he's allowed to just play in their face the entire time, allow Miro to get more farm, allow Kiyotaka to get more farm. So he really played his limits here and was like a big team player in this game.
Yep, team player indeed coming in from Ramses. But, you know, the real team initiator and the team instigator for 9Pandas certainly was our offlane player, Miro, who will be taking the award for Kida MVP for this entire series. His Game 1 performance, stellar. His Game 2 performance, even better. And if I'm Gaimin Gladiators, you must be asking yourself, what are we supposed to do, right? He plays the Zoo hero on the Lycan more as like a fighting offlaner in game number 1, but he can also pivot heavily into the team fight offlaner in the game 2. So Lacoste, if you're trying to draft against this 9Pandas team now, what are your options given how well he's performing?
Definitely not an easy team to draft against because they have a lot of options. Like if you look at the heroes that they played throughout the tournament, because they played a lot of games, we go back to like Dream League Season 20, these are some extremely versatile players we're talking about. And then not just, you know, these are also pop superstars. They have a lot of experience, so extremely difficult to draft against them. And as Solo was pointing it out with their coach, No Fear as well, and also Ramses stepping up a little bit. So you have like 3 giga brains talking about like what they're going to pick, a lot of preparation coming into it.
What did you actually make about Solo's performance in this game when he wasn't playing the Untitled? He mentioned himself that it's a mistake purge to give him that hero, but clearly he has more in the bag as well.
Yeah, in some ways Witch Doctor is very similar. Undying can raise his health, therefore when you use your blood grenade, you're not at a huge deficit. Witch Doctor, the same thing. You throw it out, you offset it with the heal. I mean, they got a really easy first blood on Ace, just with spin, blood grenade, and the heal on him fighting to the death. So it seemed to work pretty good. Obviously, all the glory clips were black holes with Requiem with Omni Slashes, but I think it was a pretty ideal game for Witch Doctor because Cask was very effective against the Meepo a lot of times.
Meepo, unfortunately, even though he had a very good start to the game, unable to finish things off for Gaimin Gladiators. 9Pandas, this is going to start a good wave of momentum for them. We already saw how high they could climb at the Bali Major, but motivation is at an all-time high at this tournament. In the earlier interview that Jenkins had with Blitz here, he was mentioning how much harder it is to coach at this tournament, given the increased motivation everyone has. And now you get to see it, right? Ramses has never done this, never actually beaten Quinn on LAN, especially in 2-0 fashion. Here, not only do they do it, but they gave them their best possible draft, still able to get the victory. And that, of course, not only makes things very interesting for them and their group, but given the other results that have happened elsewhere, this gives them a very clear path into getting the upper bracket.
Oh, most definitely. If they continue to play that they played in the last game, they're definitely not only a contender for the upper bracket, but to do really well in this tournament, because that was just flawless Dota. We watched a lot of the other games. It was good Dota, but this looked like on the top tier for sure.
Pretty much. It's a difficult task because they have to beat another Juggernaut. They're going to be playing against Team Spirit, which is their last series, and they haven't managed to beat them in 2023, so they might need to do what they did today, you know, beating Quinn, now beating Team Spirit again, but they're on the roll, so I'm putting my faith in them.
I mean, we saw from some of the other results that just occurred right now, Quest Esports went 1-1 up against OG, a somewhat surprising result, but the interesting thing about that is that that one win was enough to guarantee Quest Esports as our first team in Group A heading into the upper bracket of the playoffs. The other berths are still quite open right now. Nothing else has been confirmed. We don't even know who's going to be eliminated just yet, as we have a 3-way tie for 2 slots into the upper bracket, with a 3-way tie at the very bottom of the bracket as well. So Group A still heating up, still quite interesting at this moment in time. We still have more games to play. There's still one more day of Dota. However, there's only one set of games left for all of these teams in Group A Purge. It's a little bit easier when you only have to prepare for one team, but conversely, the pressure is much higher because you know that this is the difference between upper bracket or potential elimination.
And the problem is that the split between scores is insane. Like all the bottom teams, they're all tied with 5 wins. The next 3 teams are tied with 6 wins. So you just need 6 points to be tied for 3rd place. That means if you just have the last series go badly, there's a chance you get eliminated. It's kind of wild.
Wild indeed. Quest Esports, congratulations to them. They've done enough to get themselves through. Team Spirit only need one more win to put themselves in a similar category. In the meantime, 9Pandas, Gaimin Gladiators, PSG, LGD, as Purge mentioned, all of them tied up with 6 and 6. Group B is also quite intriguing as well, as BB team, they sit at the top of the group. Team Spirit Team Secret rather, ruined the opportunity for them to go without a defeat. So they can't necessarily rest on their laurels either. They'll be watching the Team Asters and Talent Esports right behind behind them trying to make the catch-up happen. And of course, Team Secret and Team Liquid. For me, I love the fact that they are tied up at 5-5 here, because that means that the game they're about to play literally means everything to both of these teams.
Oh, definitely. And Team Secret has shown that you can't write them off. You know, they might be in Division 2, but they're beating some of the best here, beating the BB team. They're looking really good right now. And this is a team that has a lot of veteranship in Puppy, and I think he really steps his game up when he comes onto these high-stakes international lands.
So this is probably the highest stakes international land outside of TI, especially given that we don't know the prize pool cost for this year's TI. So a lot of these players might be looking at this as potentially the only big payday to receive in 2023.
Yes, but that's why Team Secret is playing like they're playing right now, because it's hella difficult to get to that TI spot in Western Europe. There's only 2 spots available. So one of the reasons, and also seems like everybody has motivation. Like you can see some of the teams that are like, we're doing good throughout the year, not really doing it because competition is so fierce.
Yeah, competition is very fierce here at the Riyadh Masters. Of course, since we are in Riyadh, as you've seen with Fancy on the stage, you are in the land of Arabia, so the language is not just the English casters that are giving you the action here. The local crowd has some local casters, and we have Jenkins on the crowd interacting with those people to give you the gas, give you the updates as to what's happening here in Riyadh.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not in the player lounge. Thank you, Gaimin, for that. But I am with 2 gentlemen, friends of mine, that are the Arabic Sunsfan and Synderen, they are calling themselves. And they cast together. I'll let them introduce themselves. Who are you? What do you do?
Hello, I'm Aframouche. I'm analyst. And they do call me the Arabic Syndrome.
Stupid Cat, and I am caster for Arabic stream.
Sorry, you said Stupid Cat?
Yeah.
That makes sense. He is definitely the Arabic Synderen, or Suns fan. But I wanted to ask you guys some questions about your casting, because you guys are a new duo. I'll ask you first, what is the most annoying habit that he has during a cast?
Calling players the wrong names, like Malik, calling him Malik, and it's kind of really annoying.
Do you have any response to such slander?
To be honest, he's true. I keep like missing the wrong names, but he think he's a pro player, but he just keep losing the qualifiers.
Is this true?
It is true. We did lose the qualifiers, actually, yeah.
What team were you playing on in the qualifiers?
Secret Mina.
You were playing at Secret?
Yeah, I did.
Well, why don't you play with them here? They're here.
Because, I don't know, I would love to, but they just got invited and they got my slot, I guess.
But now you're Synderen, so that is definitely worth it. Can you say something like food or Aghanim Scepter related, just because to truly get into the Suns fan character?
Shawarma. I don't know. He said like this, I think. I didn't like it. Like he liked the shawarma.
I'm going to keep removing the microphone from your mouth as you are talking. That's going to go good for this interview today. Thank you guys for joining me for this very insightful piece. And now it's going to be back to you at the panel, Snare.
Thank you very much, Jenkins. He is grabbing allies from all across the world to bring us some of the updates of what's happening here at the Riyadh Masters. Of course, we are not done just yet with this day of group stage action. It's the penultimate day before any tiebreakers have to happen, so that means we still have one incredible series to bring you, and that one is an incredible one of Team Secret versus Team Liquid, a match that has not happened on the main stage since the International, so you certainly